Gogi is wrong. I don't want to be right.
What would Socrates say to that?
It tickles my fancy.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Goosies.
I don't have hair.
Oof.
You got Marcos.
That's not. No, that's not.
Wait.
Yeah,
That's true. You do got me. Get over here, Marcus. Let me look at you.
They don't want it.
Tobin and Leroy, ready to deploy. Had to hit it with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. Better have about me, boy. Okay, Leroy and Tobin, hold to the show, man. Still in the stars with the show, and till then his half moon open. Sometimes go taste like a snowman. No proof, I'm a lie about a molding. No proof, like I always wanted him, I never hated him, I never traded him, and if I did, I never ever traded him. You know what is a star? Like another city, the driver's side flyer. Wish I could large, so many more. 10 in the more, never a bar. 8, 10 in the more, 2 to the P. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. Handsome as ever and cute as can be. You can watch on YouTube with view for free. Ay. This one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time wondering what they gonna do next.
You know, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
Are you hearing me? Ah, there it is. There it is. Well, I apologize for 3 odds if that went over the radio, but just for the technical people at home, I think Joe was recording an ad, so like it wasn't in my headphones. So I apologize if it sounded like I was at the doctor getting one of the obstacles right in my tongue, but that's what was going on there. That's what was going on there. But good morning to everybody out there. Good morning to you. Oh, hello, Leroy.
What's up?
How are you, buddy?
Just got done picking up Patches O'Houlihan.
You get out your wrench.
Yeah.
Out your ball.
Yeah.
Is that what she was getting? She was getting eyes?
Yeah, she got one eye done a while ago, and then she got the other eye done today.
Got it.
I had to drop her off at 5:45.
Yeesh.
Right.
Yeah,
And I said, you know what? I'll just go over to the golf course and hit some balls, right? And wait it out. It was dark. I had to go home.
Wow, really?
Yeah, 5:45 in the morning.
They don't even have like range spotlights?
No. And then picking her up, you picking her up during traffic.
Yep.
So it was but she's cool, she's healthy, everybody's good. Got back, safe. When after they have surgery, they have to bring them out by wheelchair.
That's protocol, yeah.
Right. So she's like sitting in the waiting room 20 feet from the car door.
Yep.
And I had to wait for a nurse to wheel her out of the wheelchair.
Get to our headlines this morning. Those are brought to you by Doral Kia. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit us at Doral Kia or DoralKia.com. To be honest with you, fell asleep last night, so I missed all of Ohtani versus the Marlins, but I woke up to the good news. The Marlins beat the Dodgers late last night, 2-1 filthy. Jansen, you know what though? I was a little irritated because here's the thing. All right, I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna be a little annoyed. Okay, Jansen Junk. 6 scoreless innings this past outing last night. So it was good of Clayton McCullough to let him go. But the first thing that I went to as soon as I saw 6 scoreless innings, Leroy, was to see how many strikeouts he had, which of course the answer was 4. And that was my exact point there, Clayton. That was my exact. It was funny, man. I was getting my hair cut yesterday.
He screwed us.
And my guys, the guy who cuts my hair, he loves gambling. I mean, he is a degenerate. He goes, "You gamble?" I'm like, I gamble, dude. But then I gave him the whole story because he loves to gamble on baseball. It's his favorite thing to bet on. And so he was going over the Marlins line, and he goes, "Should I go Ohtani strikeouts?" I said, "Wait till you see if Owen Casey's in the lineup or not first, and then you'll be safe on the Ohtani over unders," which I don't think he hit yesterday. I think he was under because I think his was at 9.5. But I told him, I said, "Listen, if you bet Jansen Junk, just be careful because this Clayton McCullough's got the quick hook. He's going to go out there and take these guys out." So, thankfully, he's been awesome, Jansen Junk. So awesome, you may want to pitch him more.
Well, at least let him get to 75, 80 pitches.
Right. So he gets 6 scoreless yesterday. Here was the call last night on Marlins radio with Jack McMullen and Rod Allen.
2-2.
Now on a chopper right side of the infield. X ranges to the forehand. He's got it. He flicks it to first. It is in time. And Jansen Junk strands a runner at first base. He is through 6 scoreless at Dodger Stadium.
Man, they got the old school organ there. You got the.
You think McCullough feels any regret, or does that come from the top to pull him?
That's a great question.
Because you have relied on your bullpen. And I'm all for, listen, I understand analytics and how these guys do things, but I'm also a big fan of having my best players give me a best chance to win.
Right.
And right now, I would say, would you trust Jansen Junk or a reliever?
Jansen Junk. Probably
right.
Jansen
And so that's
right
where my analytics, differs. And I understand. And look,
well, yours is just gutalytics. Like it's just
not good.
Just be an athlete.
If I'm looking at my team, I'm looking at my group of competitors, and I'm thinking, okay, here's the situation I'm in. I got a starting pitcher who's dealing, right? I do realize the analytics say going through the third, but I'm gonna say right now, he's pitching better than them. So let's roll with him. He's only got 50-plus pitches or whatever.
Well, the Marlins get it yesterday thanks to a Kyle Stowers RBI single. Good to see him get on the board. He put up the Fish 2-0 yesterday.
0-1. Stowers, he lines through the right side of the infield. That is a base hit. They're going to wave Morel around third, and Tucker will have no throw. Kyle Stowers with an RBI single. He pulled it, and he drilled it through the right side of the infield. Stowers with his first RBI on the year, and the Fish double their advantage 2-0 on Ohtani in the top of the 5th.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say the Marlins were what, minus 200?
I don't know what the odds were, but I would imagine they were pretty stacked against him yesterday. And then finally, Tyler Phillips, he comes in. He's very weird, but we love him. He went in there and he finished the job. He got the chance to. I think Fairbanks is hurt. I think something happened with his finger. But Tyler Phillips slapping his face and slapping the Dodgers the hell out of there.
1-0 pitch. Now on a chopper right side of the infield. The first baseman, Paulie, picks it up. He flips to a covering Phillips, and they get the out. Freeland is retired, and the Fish hold on. Tyler Phillips locks it down with a scoreless 9th. He gets the save, and the Marlins take a win from the Dodgers, 2-1 the final score. Just an outstanding win for the Marlins at Dodger Stadium on Tuesday night. Again, the Marlins get the win over the Dodgers, 2-1 the final score.
2-1 filthy.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's in baseball, but
if I had to wager on that game, there's no way I would have said that the Marlins would win 2-1.
Yeah.
Right? It would seem like it'd be one of those 7-6 games, 5-4 games that Ohtani leaves the game and then you light the reliever up or something like that.
Yeah, it's an impressive win. Win. The bullpen did hold it down finally after a 3-game skid.
Can I interest you in
Yeah, I saw that. How is that? I see billboards for the Electric Vibe all over the place.
It's tropical, but a lot of their newer flavors, like even with the retro vibe, tastes like sherbet.
Oh, so it's just a mishmash again?
You kind of, it tastes
they may have run out of flavors.
Leroy, I have a surprise for you.
What?
You're not here today, so.
Jelly beans.
No, I found one SpongeBob Olipop at Target yesterday.
Wow. That's a good friend. Thank you.
I got it for you, but obviously you're not here today, so.
Yes.
Also yesterday in the NHL playoffs, the Bruins stave off elimination. They beat the Sabres 2-1 filthy in overtime. Buffalo still leads that series 3-2. The Wild double up the Stars 4-2. Minnesota leads that series 3-2. And the Oilers hold off the Ducks. They win 4-1. Anaheim leads that series 3-2. In the NBA, Joel Embiid. Wow.
Return of the mummy.
Crazy. The Sixers beat the Celtics, beat them down yesterday, 113-97. So Boston is up 3-2 in that series.
You know what's crazy about that game? Boston had the lead in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
right? They did a third quarter. They had a third quarter because I think they got outscored 28-11 in the fourth.
Mhm. And then the Knicks, they beat down the Hawks yesterday, 126-97. You saw that unctuous line of celebrity row of all those show ponies who want to be seen at the Knicks game yesterday, but they're up 3-2 in their series. And then the Spurs finished off Joe Cronin's Blazers in gentleman's fashion, gentleman's sweep there.
How do you feel about the new rules that they're kind of coming with to try to
the tanking thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I'm so sick of new NBA rules. I didn't deep dive into it, but I guess the way I understand it is it's flat odds except for the bottom 3 teams. They get even worse odds.
Right.
So that's the way it's going to work. I mean, whatever. You know what? I want Adam Silver to give me back my pick. That's what I want.
That's all.
I honestly don't care.
Right.
Because it's one of those things like we've seen enough teams over the years. Like teams are still going to try and lose. Like they'll just finagle it at the end. They think that's what I've learned is loser teams that want to lose will find the way to lose the perfect way. That's what they will find.
Right.
People who want to weasel around a system will find a way to weasel around a system. Like it was, but
shouldn't my thing is, shouldn't you get more of a blowback from your fans than the league?
Yeah, I guess.
Because
but
I have no when one thing that bothers me more than anything is a fan base that said we should have lost the last 2 games. We got a better pick.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, and the other thing is I am curious because the Heat have a lottery protected pick owed to Charlotte because of the nefarious Terry Rozier trade. And I wonder, does that get retrofitted? Like, does that mean it's now top 16 protected or is it top 14 protected? Like, what is that? Because then does the Heat, if they lose in the play-in again, is now their pick on the line? So
right.
I'm curious about that. But again, I'm so sick of the NBA making new gimmicks every year. And it's like, oh, here's the play-in rules. Here's the in-season tournament rules. Here's the lottery rules. Like,
would you rather them do nothing? Like, I mean,
I was fine. Yeah, I was actually fine. I was fine. I honestly was fine. I was fine with just everybody I was fine with 8 teams making the playoff. I didn't need any of this. I was fine with just the regular season. I like basketball. I was fine with just 8 teams making the playoffs. I was fine with the lottery the way they were. Old Tobes. I was fine with the salary cap the way that it was. And every year they're just like, you have 3 whiny owners who make a stink. They get on 2 podcasters who get short of material and they have to make up rules. That's all they do is just make up rules all year. And so you have these people in the league offices like, yeah, we should do that. And then it gets buzz on social media and that happens. So cool. There's anti-tanking rules. Guess what? Something tells me that loser teams are still going to be losers if they want to be losers.
I understand trying to get rid of the tanking aspect of it, but to give the real losers more of an opportunity to get the first pick, all you have
to do is start your losing later. Like that's all.
Right.
So then it's like, oh well, so we need to be top 4 bad. Like you can still gimmick it. You just got to try until Christmas.
But again, I think you should get more blowback from your fans. That
fans want stars. Like if you told. Fans want stars, so like that's the thing that they can hold out hope for. Because it's like if you were a Wizards fan, you think you'd be fired up because you have Anthony Davis and Trae Young, but no, they want Debanza. They want Boozer, they want Peterson.
Right.
Like they'd rather get those guys than somebody else. So
right, I got you.
But speaking of first round picks, Sully was on Joe Rose today, and
I heard
a pretty big bomb on his first round pick. We'll get to that coming up next.
WQAM broadcasting.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. As I want to let you guys know, WQM's Whiskey Stars and Cigars, presented by Edmore Sawgrass Auto Mall, returns Friday, May 8th. Talk sports unfiltered with our on-air host from Tabacón Cigars and Spirits at Plantation Walk, starting at 6 p.m. Enjoy a nice Scotch whiskey from Johnny Walker, a smooth cigar from Drew Estate. The event is free. Just stop by, and you get all the info now at WQAM.com. You must be 21 or older. See you at 6 p.m. May 8th at Tabacón Cigars and Spirits at Plantation Walk. Whiskey Stars and Cigars presented by Edmore Sawgrass Auto Mall. 4 brands, 1 location, your local Cadillac, Buick, GMC, and Chevy dealer. So looking forward to seeing everybody out there. Also want to let you guys know that Busch is bringing its Land of Milk and Honey tour with Mammoth and James and the Cold Gun to Hard Rock Live on May 12th. We're going to give away a pair of tickets again today for you guys if you want to be listening to win. 1:20 p.m. today. So in the 4th hour of the show today, 1:20 p.m., we will give away those tickets. If you can't wait to win, purchase your tickets now, casino.hardrock.com/Hollywood/events. And we will get into this Jon-Eric Sullivan stuff here in just a second. But Leroy, if you could head on over to the Windowplex and give us a weather report this hour, brought to us by Tornado Roofing and Contracting, helping homeowners stay safe this storm season. Visit tornadoroofing.com for a free roof and window estimate.
It's a beautiful day outside. Nary a wind, maybe 5-10 miles an hour, but very light, partly cloudy. Winds are coming out of they're going all over the place. But I'm going to go ahead on and say out of the west over by me. It almost looks like it's a stalemate. So you got the westerly breeze and easterly breeze just kind of meeting up. And it's about 80, 81 degrees. But other than that, beautiful day.
Beautiful day, dude. A beautiful day. This morning, Jon-Eric Sullivan was on the Joe Rose show with the big dog and had some things to say about the draft class and all the feelings. And a lot of it was great. But he actually did give a very specific nugget on the Dolphins as Joe was able to get out of them. Basically, the Dolphins starting offensive line this year and what they're going to do with Kadyn Proctor. Here was Jon-Eric Sullivan this morning.
He'll do a little bit of both just because we always like to cross-train, whether you're talking about a nickel safety or a guard tackle or a guard center. We like to cross-train guys so they line up in different spots. But I think probably day one, I think he's probably lining up at left guard, you know what I mean? And we're going to kind of fortify and we'll move Jonah to the right side and off we go.
Wow.
But, it's moving pieces all the time. And really we want to play with a couple different things to get the best 5 out there. But I think if you pressed me on it, that's probably what it looks like day one. And then we'll see where we go from there.
Pressed him on. It's like Joe was just it was a delightful question from Joe Rose. He acted like the light was shined. He was so excited to tell you that he's going to put Kadyn Proctor on the same side as Patrick Paul with those two behemoths.
It's pretty amazing, but I suggested that when Patrick Paul came in.
Yeah, they wouldn't. Yeah, and they didn't put him. They wouldn't put him in.
It's very common, and that's why I said that because if people don't remember, Jonathan Ogden played left guard his first year.
Yep. So did Tunsil. Tunsil had Blaine Albert.
And
not as big, but still,
But the most important thing is to get your 5 best linemen out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And one of the problems I had last year is, are you telling me Patrick Paul wasn't one of your best 5 linemen?
A couple of years ago? Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Right.
But I do think your point.
But everybody looked down because that's the way people do it. Everybody looked down on Patrick Paul because they didn't do that.
Well, I think your point though was sound yesterday, where it's an athleticism question, right? Like he's a moose and he has one position, and they wanted to make sure maybe he wasn't set for that. Like nobody questions that with Kadyn Proctor. He's got the quickness. They're using him as a they'll use him in offensive packages. Like they just feel that was the big thing. He's like he could play literally anywhere except center. Like, and he probably could play center, but no 6'8" person in center.
And that's one of the things I've also said to you, that that is a normal thing that guys usually, and I've said this, usually if you have a guard, 2 guards, you might have 3 or 4 guards on your roster with a center, but 2 of those guards can play center. And you kind of do your whole offensive line like that. One, so you don't have to carry 20 linemen. And you can spend time, filling other needs. And the other thing is, in the case of injuries, what if you have to move your right tackle in because one guy only plays right tackle? Or the worst thing you could do for offensive line is say, okay, this guy plays multiple positions. We're going to move him on the opposite side. That's really a big deal.
Right.
And that's what they ended up doing for the last couple of years, to the point where, like, guys didn't look comfortable.
Well, and they also, putting Jonah on the left side, like, right. I get it in theory. You're like, oh, that's going to be our left side for years to come.
No, I never thought that. I never thought that.
No, I know that's not what you thought, but that was the Greer front office thinking. That's why they did it.
Right. Well, and I told you that it's really, really, really hard if you've never played on the left side and you've only played on the right side to be on the left side. It's like if I put a pen in your hand and you're right-handed and I say, from now until the end of this year, you have to write left-handed. That's how crazy that is. And I know it doesn't seem that difficult, but imagine you spending your whole life, even when it comes to like getting in a stance, putting your right hand down because you're on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
And then you move to the left and you got to put your left hand down. So that means your footwork, everything's just opposite.
Yeah, and I imagine that's probably something they probably talked to Jonah when they got here. Like, hey, like, how much of a challenge, how much would you like the idea of going back to the right side and like the comfort of that? And so that does feel like it's going to just put everybody in a better spot. Obviously, we need to see if Kadyn Proctor can play football, but he's obviously a behemoth. He is a moose.
Right.
And that is I don't know, like I'd have to that's a Cristobal size line right there, dude, up front. Like, to have those 2 guys, 6'7", 6'7", 3, who knows what the hell they weigh on the left side. Oh my God, that is ridiculous.
Right. I would say one of the only questions that I would have, and here's how it becomes a little bit, I'm wondering how this is going to work, is that when you play with a running back that is quick and fast and gets through holes and you pull offensive linemen, if you're that big, and I know Proctor is very athletic, is he going to be able to get out front? Right? Is he going to be in shape enough to be able to do some pulling? Because we know he can run. And so how is that offensive line going to be able to do that? Otherwise, here's what you're going to face. If you can't move like that and accommodate your running back, who is excellent at running, on the edge, then that means that now when you play a team and they know that you don't have any athleticism up front, they're just going to stuff 8-9 guys in the box.
Yeah, but I think I do think it's a pretty athletic line. Like, I guess we'll have to see with Proctor, but I mean, Austin Jackson, that's kind of his bag. That's definitely Brewer's bag. Like,
that's what I'm just saying. Like, being that big, that's one of the things that come into play, is that are we still going to be able to be athletic enough to accommodate? One, you're probably going to have to pull some guards out in front of your quarterback when you roll your quarterback out because he's athletic.
Right.
You have a running back who is excellent at running on the edge, right? And so tying it all together.
Ogden? Is Ogden the biggest guy you ran behind?
No.
Who's the biggest guy you ran behind?
Orlando Brown.
Zeus.
That's his name.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Go look at a picture of him. You know what he's famous for? Remember
he had the thing going in his eye, didn't he?
The official threw the beanbag in his eye, and he went
Ruined
and
his
pushed
career.
the official.
Didn't that ruin his career?
Yeah, he went and pushed the official and got suspended. So he lost his career and got suspended.
That's crazy.
Right. But that now look, that dude was a monster. I played with Corey Stringer.
6'8", 350.
Corey Stringer was a big boy.
Oh, wait, this is the wrong Orlando Brown.
That's his son.
That's his son. 6'7", 360.
Yes. Yes.
Good God.
And it's great to have all of those, to have that massive physical line.
Did you have Mount McKinney? Did you get him as a rookie, or you guys were
No,
2 years?
I was
just a
gone.
year apart.
I was gone.
That's because you weren't on that boat.
Yeah, I wasn't on that boat. Everybody think I was on that boat. Leroy was not. Leroy didn't do boats. So that would have never been me, even if I was there. But yeah, you have and the most incredible thing, and I can't explain this. This is even from me, who was pretty athletic, right? You haven't seen anything until you've seen the offensive and defensive line have a dunk contest. That's athletic.
Jeez.
And like, you just sit back and you're amazed at how guys, we had a guy, Jerry Ball, who was built like a donut, right? And he would go and stand outside and stand in front of and do bump and run with the wide receivers, and they couldn't get off the line of scrimmage. Like, just seeing stuff like that. So I know why they drafted Kadyn. I really do. I understand it, because contrary to popular belief, like, it is easier to find a wide receiver or a DB that runs a 4.3 than it is to find an offensive lineman that can run like him.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, it would have been super surprising if they would have taken a wide receiver at 11. The 30 spot, like, you saw the guys who went, like Concepcion going to the Browns. I think that was gonna get, but he went before that.
Right.
So, like, I don't think their draft was surprising at all, especially with the size the two guys have height wise for Johnson, more so than weight. But everybody's, once McCoy went down, probably got what was thought of as the second best corner in the draft, and we'll see what ends up happening. I think aren't the Browns doing that with Fano? Aren't they flipping him, because he played right most, and they're putting him on the left side to start the year?
Yeah, but that's more of a young player thing, and you're just filling a need. When you see how they play, when guys' contracts come up, things like that, they would much rather have not an offensive lineman that you got to pay $20 million because his contract's up. They much rather have a young guy to buy you some time that you don't have to pay for another 2 or 3 years. So say if their right tackle is playing well and it's time to play him, like kind of like was it Robert Hunt that went and got all that money?
Oh my God.
Right.
No, I mean, listen, linemen are getting paid, dude. I mean,
Right.
Everybody's looking for him. That's the
Right.
thing. Everybody's looking for him, and everybody's looking at the end of the year. Look at the Patriots. Like, horniness aside, you looked at the end of that year, and Campbell got beat up, hurt, but that entire line just got demolished by Seattle. And every time you looked at Seattle, I was like, they looked like the most intimidating line in the league this year. Just not. I mean, sure, like, obviously there's more intimidating players like Myles Garrett or Max Crosby, but just across, it was so scary to watch what they were able to do last year. So yeah, you need to be able to protect. And look, he also didn't make it a secret. Like, they want Malik Willis to work out. That's their guy. And they're hopeful that these next couple of years they can make this work out with him, and you want to give him a chance. If you did go into the year with the question mark of Jonas Avayanaya and having Salyer kind of try and save his career here, you could probably manage. Like, they managed last year. I think that's, if you looked at last year's line, it wasn't the most disastrous line we've seen in a long time. They managed, but they don't want it to be a managed thing. They want it to be a strength. And that's where they're at with it right now. So But I'm glad that we got it all settled. It's probably what we were all thinking, but it's glad that now he kind of has it out there of like, this is what their thought process is going forward. It's going to be Paul. It's going to be Proctor, Brewer, Savatinaya, and then hopefully Austin Jackson has a healthy season.
Right. And that's where, that's where it ends up being. And then depending on health or depending on where you are as far as needs on the team, then some guys might be out and you can move guys, in their more natural position, which is what happened with Jonah, which I always thought was going to happen. Like I've seen it far too many times, right?
Seems like a smart move. Yeah.
I've seen guards that were backup centers that, either became the starting center when it was time to pay the center, or when a guard was up, then they moved to guard. But once you get that five that you're comfortable with and they start playing well, now you try, if you can get 3 or 4 years out of the same 5 guys in your offense, if you go look at the teams that have had the most success offensively, running the football, you don't have to go to the skill positions. You don't have to go to the quarterback. Look at the consistency of the offensive line. But like one of the things we talk about, remember the Cowboys in their heyday.
Sure.
Oh, you talk about that offensive line.
No, look, if this offensive line can be what they hope it to be, I mean, Achan's gonna have another big season, and that's something that they can rely on for sure.
Oh my God. Proctor's natural position is 2 cars back in the drive-through line. That's evil, Nick, but funny. Very much.
He says he goes to Hot Works.
Hey, we got to give him a +1. It has to be done.
I want to.
Yeah, I know we don't want to, but it's funny.
Not nice. He's trying.
Right.
He was
and to respond to Jay, so funny how he said we're going to draft
for YouTuber.
So funny how he said we're going to draft a quarterback every year. This is sink or swim. No, not because you didn't draft a quarterback, but I would say you would like to draft a quarterback every year, but if it doesn't present itself, you can get by not doing it a year.
They have Quinn Ewers.
Right.
Quinn Ewers in a pinch has been in the offense, and he's going to have another year in his belt, and he cost peanuts. Like, why?
Right.
You
got enough quarterbacks in the room.
If anybody drafts a quarterback, if anybody does a quarterback every year, it's Cleveland. Sometimes 2 quarterbacks a year.
I mean, the only time that's really worked out is in Washington, right?
That did work out in Washington, yeah. But they did that the same year. They didn't even
do that.
Right,
but that's what I'm saying. So did Cleveland. But
nobody likes Dylan Gabriel, huh? He's just got no swag.
I don't know if it's a weird thing because if you look at the numbers, Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders were about even. It's something about the personalities that we are drawn towards Shedeur.
He's a very There's Dylan Gabriel. I interviewed him in Indianapolis. Not a lot of charisma.
Right. And
very low key, chill dude. A lot, very Khalil Ware-esque. Just kind of like goes with the flow. And Shedeur Sanders. I mean, Deion Sanders is his father. Like he oozes charisma.
Wait, Ravens signed Pavia. No, they didn't.
They did,
but they invited him to.
No. He got signed yesterday as an undrafted. Okay. I don't know what his guarantees are, but apparently he got a multiple year undrafted QB deal. So no, he is actually signed. They were going to invite him
to minicamp.
There was a really funny tweet.
Dude, you know what's crazy?
Tweet, Brittany?
You know what's crazy?
No, I didn't.
You have like during the summer, you have a lot of guys out there like working out and going through the process, and you never see them. Like they have guys in and out all the time.
Oh man, this was a tweet I saw from Karen Howell. This is 2.4 million views on X. Rude of the Ravens to invite Diego Pavia to their mini camp instead of their regular sized camp.
hey, hey, you guys can say what you want about me short shaming people. That is ridiculous.
Oh man. Well, I like Diego Pavia. Gave him dirty boxing in Nashville.
Oh,
Hopefully it works.
And you saw firsthand that he was tiny.
I did. He also had to leave. He had to leave by like the main event because he had games to play.
You know what's crazy is that we have, in the last maybe 5 years, we have had a trend where size of a quarterback doesn't matter. And we're going to start getting back away from that. Because if you're under 6'1", you better be super athletic and be able to make plays down the field or with your feet. Otherwise, like, think about this. You want a 5'10", 6-foot quarterback behind this offensive line?
It's very big. I mean,
Right.
that was the fear with Tua because he said that he couldn't see. Malik Willis is not tall, but
Yeah,
he
but
can
he
run.
can create
he can
space
run.
with his legs.
Yeah, and he's got a chooch, so a real piss whistle on him.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works. Please work.
Hopefully it works. Hopefully it works.
Please don't lose. Take a break.
Give it some time. I mean, like,
yeah, I'm not expecting an awesome year, but I do want to see some
growth.
Awesome I want to see growth, and I would love to see them get some good wins this year. Like if they can hang with some teams, if they could beat, get a couple of wins that you're like, oh, that was impressive. That's what I'm looking for this year. That's what.
Right.
Look at these weapons. They got nobody, dude. Unless Chris Bell, which it sounded listening to Sully this morning, it sounds like Chris Bell is going to be shelved for the year, unless like he's way ahead of schedule.
Right.
But no need to beat science this year, Chris Bell. You go at science's pace. If you need to kick back and let science, take you through, no problem. No rush to beat science. Take a break. We're back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. We'll take you rascals up until 2 today. Anthony Chang of the Miami Herald. We are going to have him join the program because Pat Riley spoke on Monday. We've had a little time to let it simmer, so Anthony Chang will join us around 11:30 today, and we'll talk all things Miami Heat with the outstanding reporter from the Miami Herald. Love when Anthony makes time for us. But in the meanwhile, we will head on over and mix things up. We like to refer to this segment spanning the sports world as the mixed bag. Leroy, are you familiar with Norman Powell?
I am.
He is a free agent after his all-star season with the Miami Heat. I think he ended the season pretty annoyed because he was not only not healthy, but then Tyler Herro took his starting spot. Didn't seem like he loved it. But now he goes into free agency. WPLG's David Lang, sports director, reporter, anchor, a man of all trades here in the television world. Dookie Lang catching up with Norman Powell yesterday. I think he was at a Cadillac F1 event or something like that. So he was doing an appearance and did some media. And this was him on his future in Miami.
For me personally, the season was good up until All-Star. Obviously disappointed with how we ended. Definitely wanted to go further. Our main goal was to get out the play-in, but have that game in Charlotte and lose by 1 point was definitely tough. But overall, I loved my first year in Miami. Enjoyed the organization, my teammates. So being a free agent, hopefully Pat Riley and the front office loved what I was able to bring to the table and expects to have me here in the future and next year and so on. So I'm hearing that you would want to come back. Yes, I would love to come back.
All right, there you go. He said he would love to come back. Kind of like my early read on it after hearing Pat Riley, and we'll talk to Anthony about this. My early read on it, I think Norm's back on a fat 1-year deal, and I think Tyler's finding another place to play. That's my guess. Or Norman Powell leaves and Tyler Herro will be here for his last year on the contract. But this town ain't big enough for the both of them.
I just think you got to get rid of one of the twins.
Right. We can't have the Olay twins. You can have one Olay. You can't have two.
And I personally think that Norm is the cheaper option.
Well, look, I'm sure that he's going to want a big contract, and I understand that. You're 32 years old. I respect people wanting to get money. Right. I don't think the Heat are going to – I think if you heard the words of Pat Riley talking about flexibility and talking to all those agents, I don't think Norm's getting paid long-term. I don't think Tyler's getting an extension. I don't think Wiggins is getting an extension, and I don't think Jaime is getting an extension. Unless it's super reasonable, unless it's like really reasonable. And I got to be honest with you, if I was from the neutral, if I could take off my Heat hat, if I was Jaime's agent, I'd be like, you guys paid Jovic $15 million a year. I'm not taking less than 20.
Right.
You know? And I just think for the Heat, they'd be like, cool, you could play out the last year of your contract, and we'll visit this in restricted free agency. So.
But usually, not for nothing, they usually give one of their young guys a deal that they think is, one, going to satisfy them, and two, that's going to give them some kind of break.
Yes.
And they did it. Maybe they did it with the wrong guy.
They might have done it with the wrong guy.
But you almost have to do that, because the decisions that you would have to make if too many people came up at the same time, that would be more of a headache than trying to go get a whale. I believe.
It's also going to depend. Like we talked about, it sounded like Pat Riley wants to make a run at somebody in 27 with a lot of cap space, which is not done. And look, the Heat will know some of that because we'll see if guys sign their extensions or not.
Right.
And that'll obviously change course of where things go. It'll have the dominoes fall in a different place. But if those guys, if Spida or Joker don't sign extensions, then yeah, I think the Heat are going to leave themselves open, and that's going to suck for Jaime. But, you know, the Heat aren't exactly, they're not in a, I don't know if the Heat are in a place. Because, like, look, if you're the Heat, you could Tyler Herro and be like, great season, would love to see it again if you're that, you know? So we'll see. But Tyler Herro, I don't know. Kadyn Proctor, he was doing a little documentary beforehand, and this is some of him on his long-term goals.
It's definitely such a blessing to be out there and be known as one of the top guys. It's the top of the top. It's been my dream. It's been the ultimate goal of everybody here working at Sports Academy is to go to the NFL. Now that it's right there, like it's so exciting to me. Greatness, what means to me is like being around those like-minded people, like Coach Saban and being around Duke and being around other first-round picks, you know, training with them. Like, you got the top guys in here for a reason. Duke know what he's doing, man. You want to be all-pro. I want to be all-rookie team. I want to be the Hall of Famer by the time it's all said and done. And obviously want to go win the Super Bowl with my team.
Wow. I like it. I like big goals.
Yeah.
I like big goals. Fun. Speaking of big people, Shaq.
He's
a giant.
He's a giant.
Yesterday, Shaquille O'Neal, not one to give out a lot of flowers when it comes to bigs, but he says Wemby's the perfect guy.
I think Wemby is the first perfect big man that's ever created. Can shoot, free throws, play defense, play offense. He's a great team player. I'm happy for the Spurs. I'm happy for Wendy. And for me, in a long time, he's a joy to watch. You know, I don't usually, talk about
like any big man. Like give any big man credit. I'm sorry, I was just thinking out loud.
I don't usually, enjoy the big man how they play now, but he plays it so perfectly. I actually accept the way he plays. So if he wants to shoot jumpers, I'm fine with him. But to me, he's like the perfect big man.
Damn, dude.
Wow.
Wow. I think even Chuck and Kenny were like, yeah, you mean like how you hate on everybody? Hey. It's like, well, you do it. Listen, as friends, sometimes you have to call out your friends for what they do. He's right, though. That Wembanyama. I will also co-sign this. He's good.
I mean, jeez. Like, nothing like seeing a 7'5" guy go between the legs, spin move, midi.
Yep. Crazy, dude. And that's the mixed bag. That is the mixed bag for today. The Spurs move on. The Celtics do not. They still have to put away the 76ers in that. We'll get you caught up with what happened last night, the Marlins, and lots more to get into here on Tobin and Leroy. We're back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. Let us start off with our headlines brought to you by Doral Kia. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit them at Doral Kia or DoralKia.com. The Marlins, they beat the Dodgers last night, 2-1 filthy. They beat Shohei Ohtani, and they will go today for the rubber match. Marlins at 3:10. Sandy Alcantara on the hill against Tyler Glasnow. Excuse me. He's big.
Big.
He's a giant. Jansen Junk was awesome yesterday. 6 shutout innings, 4 strikeouts. And Tyler Phillips got the save for the Fish. This was him with Steven Strom afterwards on the field.
Tyler, how would you explain the shift of emotions 24 hours from now?
Oh, dude, I was fired up. I was thinking about the outing from last night. If you saw me down in the bullpen, you probably would have thought that there was something wrong because I was staring at Han like a wild man. That's
how he always looks.
He was in trouble. So just very excited to get back out there.
What was different about tonight?
Obviously, the situation was a little different. But no, it's just be on attack mode. It's something we preach. Try to get strike one. I know how my stuff plays, and when it's in the zone, it's going to be good. So just like I said last year to you, throw the ball over the plate.
Obviously, yesterday was extremely tough. What kind of guts did your team show tonight?
Yeah, that was awesome. Obviously, we know who the other team is, but we got to look at them like the jersey or the name on the front doesn't matter, and the names on the back don't matter. You come out, you answer back, and that's huge. And hopefully we can go and do that again tomorrow.
Thanks for the time, Philly.
Yeah.
All right, Jack.
All right, there you go. Steven Strom yesterday on QAM. You'll be able to hear that on the AM dial today. 3:10, your first pitch from Dodger Stadium, and the Marlins will come back home. Phillies this weekend, yeah? Phillies this weekend, I believe.
I think so.
I think it's the Phillies this weekend. You know who their manager is right now?
Who?
Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly.
Wow.
Don Mattingly is the interim manager of the Phillies because they fired their manager because they stink. Very strange what's happening at the bottom of the NL East. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. If you told me, hey, Tobin, would you enjoy the Phillies and Mets just starting the season melting in napalm? I would say yes. I would enjoy that very much. I would enjoy. I wish them no success. What do you want me to do? Just feel how I feel. Now, I would like the Marlins to string a couple together because you want to take advantage of this.
Why can't I feel that way?
About what?
Jimmy Butler.
You do the Jimmy Butler thing again? I think we being like, what is it with you and wanting to settle debates that aren't the same?
You got your petty, I got mine.
Yeah, all right. You don't know how to do it, though. Did you see he's back down here?
Oh, is he?
He is. He's rehabbing. He's rehabbing down here.
All right.
He's just going to have one.
Oh, you know what? That's probably a good point. Does he have friends? Is he? Oh, yeah. Big Face usually has a stand there. They're not going to have a stand there this year, though, do they?
They do. I literally just saw somebody, like a content creator, go the other day, and they're having in the paddock. He has a little
coffee.
trailer. Mm-hmm.
He likes the foo-foo sports.
That's not nice.
He does
because I like the foo-foo sports.
That's okay. You like the wine, like you would admit F1's a little wine and cheese. You know.
Yes.
He likes that. So. He likes Wimbledon. You know, not a golf guy, Jimmy Butler, but he likes.
No. Yeah, I thought he would like.
I thought he would be a golf guy, but he's not.
I feel like I've seen him golfing before.
No, Kyle Lowry loves golf.
Yes, I do know.
Kyle Lowry loves. A lot of guys do. LeBron loves golf now. That's like his thing.
He has a commercial.
He's like LeBron. LeBron says he doesn't watch basketball anymore.
That beats commercial.
You know what's crazy, and if I can explain the attraction to it, you spend your whole life playing a team sport, and you enjoy the fact that the only person you need to count on is yourself, good, bad, or indifferent. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Also in golf, any player at any level, the way golf is set up, can play with any player at any level because of the handicap system. So it makes it cool that LeBron could play a match against Scottie Scheffler. Simply because whatever his handicap is versus what Scottie Scheffler's handicap is, is supposed to make it somewhat even, and that makes it fun.
I mean, what could be the difference of that? It'd be like LeBron having to spot somebody 100 points in one.
He would. So we have a guy in our group that is a higher handicap, and there was a point in time he would get 20 shots.
Okay.
So that means he get a shot on every hole and 2 shots on the 2 toughest holes.
Okay. So, like, for example, like they say Steph Curry is a very good golfer.
Mm-hmm.
If Steph Curry and LeBron James went golfing,
I give LeBron, say LeBron is a 16 handicap.
Okay.
And Steph is a 2 or 3.
So he's got to give LeBron
the 13th or 14th toughest holes. If you're playing a match, he would have to give LeBron a shot. So if he made a 5, it would be 4.
And who determines one's handicap? Like, is it the master of golf? Or
no, there's a handicap system. The USGA has a handicap system. You put all your scores in, and depending on the difficulty of the golf course, it gives you a handicap.
Interesting. So, like, Steph Curry can't just go take LeBron's money and be like, no, straight up, dude, just like we were playing basketball.
No, we call that the LT.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean? LT didn't do handicap?
LT don't give shots.
Oh, really?
No.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
Is that why there was on the old green?
Well, no, it was like, so when LT first started golfing, he started golfing with Jim Brown. Jim Brown didn't give shots. So that's where he gets it from.
Okay.
But as Jim Brown got older and LT got good, the script was flipped.
Oh, no.
Right. And now LT beating the hell out of Jim Brown. So that's kind of,
Brittany, are you?
I was just perplexed. Yeah, I was just perplexed by the fact that people if there's any sport to not get physical in and fight, it's probably golf.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Well,
there's more arguments over rulings or people massaging their golf ball.
Yeah, and there's nothing.
Like you look over and see a guy's ball in the rough, and then you look over at your ball and look back, and all of a sudden his ball's sitting up in the grass.
There's nothing lower than the golf cheat.
Yeah,
I mean, that's true, I guess. But
yeah, so there's always conversation about giving putts. Hey, I gave you a putt that length the last hole. I'm not giving it to you. Tough, right?
I mean, every time I've went golfing, it was a very enjoyable, very calming experience.
Yeah.
Oh, you know why?
Why?
No money was involved.
Yeah, I don't. No, I'm not a
handicap system is for tournaments or bets.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if Steph Curry, if LeBron was playing Jason Duffner, obviously give him a handicap. But like, if I'm his friend, but I'm way better at golf.
Oh no, it don't matter.
I'm also a basketball player. I don't think if I'm Steph Curry, I'm giving LeBron shots.
Here's how it works. You'll have friends that say, "Hey, you want to come golf with me?" We get on the first tee. The first question, not how you doing, how's your family, what's your handicap? You want action? That's how it goes. That's it. That's how it goes. So, like, contrary to popular belief, competitors want to compete, right? And it don't even have to be a lot of money.
Lito Ford says, you guys should have the queen of petty on the show. Angel Reese, every time Jalen Duren gets posterized her ex, she posts the story on her Instagram. She did it with Jamal Cain. That's funny. He's not having a very good series.
No.
He's not having a very good series.
He almost looks like he's in the paint and he's like trying to get Mardi Gras beads. He doesn't leave his feet. He just holds his hands up like the ball's supposed to just fall in his hands.
One of the things that's tough for young guys is if you have a weakness over a series, especially if it's good defensively, they are going to expose the hell out of it. Like that is the difference between the playoffs and the regular season. You can catch somebody on a night dunking all over everybody's head, but if they think something wasn't until you fix something to adjust it, it's a problem.
Here's what happens. During the regular season, it's about me, and in the playoffs, it's about you. So during the regular season, everybody's trying to get better. Everybody's trying to improve what they do. Then when you get in one of these series, then you start focusing on how to defend, how to beat the other team. Now, the only anomaly in this is Boston. Because I've never seen a team that if they shoot the three well, and they shoot them a lot, they win. But you can beat them if they have a bad night shooting.
Yes, because they're always gonna they're like the Marlins. They're always gonna dictate to what they do. That's the math. That's what they're gonna play. That's the way Missoula's gonna coach, and he'll live and die with that.
Right.
If it's an
But
anomaly,
they've been that way for what, 6-7 years now.
probably yeah, I would say that style that they're doing right now since they lost to the Heat.
Right.
Like that, this particular style since they lost to the Heat. Like when they went away from Marcus Smart and Robbie Williams, like when they brought in Porzingis and all that team, like that team just was bombs away. And Derek White's not having a good series either.
Right.
And he's been one of their best postseason players. We'll take a break. More to come. We'll hear a little bit more from Jon-Eric Sullivan, who was on with Joe Rose this morning on the state of the Dolphins, and Pat Riley, Anthony Chang. We'll talk some Miami Heat coming up later on this hour. We're back after this. All right, welcome back. Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. Give you a weather update here, brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting, helping keep your home and family safe when the storm rolls in. Visit tornadoroofing.com for your free roof and window estimate. Currently in Miami, it is 79 degrees, cloudy. Partly cloudy conditions expected around 2 p.m. Wind gusts up to 9 miles per hour. Sun's going to come out in the late afternoon, but for the most part, no rain coming around until it looks like Sunday, Leroy. But that's down here. I don't know about you up there, but
it's partly cloudy, but it's pretty nice.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it's going. So that's all good. And we hope Jennifer feels better today. Her voice is hurting a little bit, so we will not have her for Rats Off a Ship today. Can you handle Rats Off a Ship today, Brittany?
Of course.
All right. We will wish our birderer the best of recovery, as of course she needs to get a rest for Rockville. Gotta have her voice. She's gonna come back dead from that, though. She's not gonna have anything left in the tank for Blood of the Lamb. It's not gonna do well for her. Jon-Eric Sullivan, he was on Joe Rose's show this morning with the big dog. And if you guys missed the interview, you guys can go catch it on the Joe Rose podcast, or it is up on our YouTube page, 104.3 WQAM. But we'll give you a little listen in here as Sully. Joe asked him about the Ruben Bain being available and instead going with Kadyn Proctor. And this is what Sully had to say about Kadyn Proctor being the pick at 12.
We were going to pick who we deemed the best player available, and I said yesterday, and I'll say it again, I'm a huge fan of Ruben Bain. The guy's going to be a really good player in this league, and he had a great college career, and there's not a lot to not like when it comes to Ruben Bain. But Kadyn Proctor was our guy all along. We felt like he was a rare, unique talent, a man that size with the athletic ability that he has, and then the versatility he brought. We were very much in alignment throughout the building. And that was my guy. And if he was there, I was going to take him. We invested in Malik. We needed to kind of fortify the offensive line. We're really excited about, Kadyn with the combination of Brew and Paul and Jonah taking a step and then Austin coming back. So we feel like we, not only plugged the hole, but we did it with what we deemed the best player available.
There you go. That was Jon-Eric Sullivan this morning on QAM with Joe Rose. And again, tripling down. That was his guy all along. Traded back from 11, was able to even pick something up from old Jerry Jones. Go ahead, Brittany.
I was just gonna say, it just feels like a script at this point. Like he's just reading off a cue card.
I don't think that he's shook by the fan base or the Canes fans, but I think that he realizes they really loved this kid. And look, it's hard not to have feelings on the evaluation of it too, because the Miami Hurricanes mean something to this town. It has been just like the Dolphins. This is these are the two heritage teams in this town. People always call it a football town. You have a kid who literally came from the cradle to starring at a college here, starring in high school here, and you could have had like this storybook scenario, and it's tough for the fans to take feelings out of that. He's obviously not from here. He doesn't care about any of that stuff, and honestly doing the job, nor should he. He probably should take there and have convictions, but I'm sure he has to realize, hey, I have to keep in mind this kid is beloved. And you want to know something? The thing that's going to be funny about it is Kadyn Proctor could be awesome for the Dolphins. If there's anybody who even needed a bigger chip to go into the league with to just wreck people, it's probably Bain, right? It's gonna probably be great for his career too.
Everybody is gonna curse the Dolphins. Like, why did you not take him? You put an extra chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, it was it's something that he probably has to be aware of.
What I am curious about though is if the Giants never took Maui Noah.
Yes.
That is something I'm very curious about, because I feel like once they saw Maui Noah go, they knew Proctor would be there at 12, that Dallas was probably desperate to trade up for Caleb Downs, and maybe that was the decision. I just wonder if Maui Noah never went to the Giants. If
my guess is, because he also said,
I think they would have took Maui Noah.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think listening to his interview today, he basically said he knew exactly what the top 10 was going to be. I don't think they thought they were going to get Maui Noah. I think he probably thought there's zero chance that that guy's ever going to fall to me at 11, and there's zero chance he's going to fall to me at 12. So that's probably why they did so much work on Kadyn Proctor, is that they probably did want to get this thing with the offensive line situated. And he's put it out there plenty of times. He wants a very big physical football team. Like they are constructing the team in that regard. So that's not that Francis Mano is not a monster, but I don't think he thought that he was going to get him. Like honestly, it's pretty surprising that for a position like that, probably because they're both maybe right tackles by trade, that both of those guys fell even as low as they did because of how much people need line play.
I mean, there was a moment there where I was like, we have a chance to get either one of them, which is something that I never anticipated.
I know.
But yeah, I'm curious.
I think a lot of this had to do with the way the draft played out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like once O-linemen started going, there's probably a few people in the 20s or the late teens that thought they were going to have access to Proctor.
Tate going as early as he did was the one that really surprised me. I didn't think he was going to get out of the top 10, but I was surprised that he went 4 to the Titans.
That was the most shocking one of them all.
I was like,
that wasn't the most shocking. The most shocking was Ty Simpson going 50.
That's crazy.
I mean, that one was
who was asking for that?
But again, that's how the draft goes. There's always somebody who's gonna make a move like that, and now all the teams below them have to scramble because now they're getting access or have a chance to get players they never thought they were going to have an opportunity to get.
Kendall says it was reported the Giants were going to take Maui Noah at 5 if Reese wasn't there. Yeah, and the thing is with Reese, because of Tate going as early, Reese kept falling.
Yeah, and then the crazy thing was I remember I was on the phone with my dad when the draft was happening, and I was like, once they made that Maui Noah pick, I was like, the Giants are like cooking in this draft.
They are, yeah. No, they got Harbaugh. Like that's gonna be an interesting division this year for sure. Because Jerry, I mean, the clock's always ticking with him. Like he's all in, and then will Washington get a healthy Jaden Daniels this year? Eagles are always drama, but they do feel like they've finally are going to get behind having miserable AJ Brown there. So now they'll pick somebody else to be miserable at. It's going to be Jalen Hurts all year. Just trust me. Like it's the most miserable, successful fan base.
It is. Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's unbelievable because they're like, oh yeah. I mean, I couldn't even imagine like the Super Bowl winning quarterback for the Dolphins and how that person would be treated. And they're like, get this guy out of here. Bum. Don't want him. Never wanted him.
No, when they drafted the quarterback, they were so thrilled. I was like, I'm sorry.
It's crazy, dude. Yeah. So, it's very convicted on the Proctor thing. Rodriguez was a fun pick, and we got a British guy. Like, I don't know what. Like, it could give me a more perfect draft than that. I'll wait. Spot a tea. Now there needs to be some fan base. If this guy ends up being good, I am going to need some pocket. Like we got the Dolphin Bandits. You got Big Papa Pump. You got all these someone's going to have to be like the overly British aqua and orange Dolphin who has the tea there for them with are you allowed to bring a tea set into the stadium? I don't know what the rules are.
I highly doubt it.
What if it's for bits?
I don't think so. They have a very strict, clear bag policy, so I'm not sure that a tea set was going to make it past.
See, if I was a Dolphin season ticket holder, I should get a bits pass. Like if I'm allowed, like it's like I spend a gazillion dollars to have seats here in the end zone. I'm allowed like the one guy has the skulls on it, one guy has the shoulder pads. What's the big deal if somebody has an aqua and orange tea set?
Maybe it was plastic.
Right. Yes. Yeah. You might have to be creative with it so it doesn't set off the text, although it's not very classy.
It's not, but I don't think that they're going to allow glass into the stadium.
Dade South says they take water bottle caps. You think they're going to allow teacups? Just for the bit.
No kidding.
That's so true.
Which is the worst.
Yeah.
Got to have my open water bottle, and it costs $13, and it's like a 2-liter bottle.
I understand at basketball games. At football games, I don't understand it.
We'll take a break. Anthony Chang of the Miami Herald. We're going to talk some of the Miami Heat season as Pat Riley spoke to the media on Monday. Had a lot to say for a long time. So we'll get Anthony's thoughts on it. He joins us next. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. Want to let you guys know again, Busch is bringing their Land of Milk and Honey tour with Mammoth and James and the Cold Gun to Hard Rock Live on May 12th. And we're giving away tickets. Just be listening for your chance to win. 1:20 p.m. We'll give away the tickets today. If you can't wait to win, you can purchase your tickets at casino.hardrock.com/Hollywood/events.
Are they shooting threes?
The Land of Milk. Yeah, I think Jason Jackson.
From the Land of Milk and Honey.
Let's go out to the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, and toyotaofhollywood.com. And there we will find Anthony Chang, Miami Heat reporter from the Miami Herald. What's going on, dude? Thanks for the time today.
Of course. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good.
I'm confused. I'm a little confused, to be honest with you, because all the things that Pat said have been kind of inconsistent with what they've done the last couple of years. And then some of the guys that they're talking about bringing in, also when he said the main thing is, games played, but any of the superstars that you would bring in have had issues with games played. So I'm a little confused.
Well, Nikola Jokic hasn't had issues.
No,
with
not him.
right?
No. Yeah. wait.
That is interesting. Hey, let's dive into that. What you think about?
Where are you going?
I'm going to tell you.
You opened the door, Leroy. I'm sorry.
As I said yesterday, very strange. Listen, you're basically Nikola Jovic's therapist, right? So
yeah.
Every single time he said something, I've just been like, what? I mean, this guy, where he is mentally this year is all over the place. But Pat Riley, when you asked him about Bam, all of a sudden goes on this Jovic story about I was like, and I just like kept I was like, why did he do that? That's so unlike. I remember the Hassan, Dion Waiters, Goran Dragic, Dwayne Wade, like years where you don't play and you get paid. Usually that's not the reaction we get from Pat Riley. And I was like, what the hell was that? So what the hell was that? And also, do you think that's because he's cozying up to Joker?
I think sometimes, you know this, Tobin, you've been enough of these press conferences. He either tries to build up the player if he's had a bad year, which he's done that in the past, I think, or he is very critical of them and is very brutally honest and kind of issues a challenge. For whatever reason, he continued to try to build up Jovic while mentioning it was a nightmare season for him. Like it was a really bad season for Jovic, obviously. Is that cozying up to Joker? I don't know. But I mean, I can't say no. I mean, could be, right? I mean, I do know that the Heat are, prioritizing 2027 cap space, which Pat, I think if you take away anything from that press conference, that was it, right? 2027 cap space is important to them. Unless they're able to get that star this offseason, right? Whether that's Giannis or somebody else who becomes available, they're going to try to preserve that 2027 cap space until they can land that star. Until then, everything seems to be on hold.
Yeah, so I don't know what the mechanisms are of Joker's contract. Like I know that if you stay with the team, you get $1 gazillion more. So it's probably that's why it's become so unlikely.
Or you
right?
just get an extra year, right? Is the money? The money is only that extra year that you would get by staying. It's not necessarily more each
I don't
year.
know if we know the exact numbers, but he's also got every award. So it's probably that's the whole mechanism and why we're like cap space. Like who does that work with anybody anymore? It doesn't feel like it does.
I'll say this about cap space. It's still very beneficial to have because yes, while a lot of these guys don't hit free agency outright anymore, you can still have the threat of that cap space of like, well, if we don't trade Giannis by this date and he's a free agent, the Heat has the cap space on him outright. We could lose him for nothing, right? So that threat sometimes motivates a team to do a trade because they know that the Heat don't have to give up anything. They can just wait and sign him in 2027. And same thing with Joker. Joker can become a free agent in 2027. He has a player option just like Giannis. Just like Donovan Mitchell, right, who has a player option in 2027 as well to become a free agent. If the Heat has the cap space ready to go, that if those guys become available, they could sign them outright. Maybe that team is willing to make a trade beforehand because just of that threat. Also, it helps with flexibility to make trades, right? Where you don't have to take back as much salary. You're able to make more trades if you have space. So there are benefits to having space. It's maybe not the traditional way that most people think about it, but the Heat are preserving that cap space for a reason. They want to have the flexibility. They want to have that threat of, well, if you don't want to trade it, this guy to us, then we could just send him outright if he really wants to come here. So I would say that's really the reason you're seeing the Heat keeping that 2027 flexibility.
One of the other things during the presser that kind of caught me off guard, and I've never heard Pat kind of criticize Spo, but I got the feeling that he was criticizing Spo by not just riding out these young players and kind of taking the lumps, because now you ended up in the play-in again and you have all this young talent that you've kind of didn't play, and we're going to go through this again next year when we could have maybe been ahead of this.
Yeah, no, I think that was another interesting part of the press conference where he wasn't like overly critical of Spo, but he did say like there needs to be a conversation had of like, what are we doing here, right? If we're going to keep these guys and not trade them, if we want to keep Khalil away from a Kevin Durant deal because we believe in him and his potential, you got to play him more than 12 minutes a game, right? I mean, that just has to happen. And I know that's tough because you have Bam Adebayo on the roster. And if you don't really trust him and Bam to play together, Bam plays, 30, 35 minutes a game. So that only leaves, 13, 14 minutes for Khalil to play. But I guess the point is, if Khalil's in the roster next year, there has to be a way to play them together, which we saw a little bit more of in the final week of the season. It's unfortunate it took that long, right? For Spo to kind of say, well, we need to maximize Khalil's minutes. Like, this is the way we do it, because if not, Khalil doesn't play as much. I would imagine that if Khalil's back next year and he's not traded, we'll probably see much more of Bam and Khalil because, like Pat said, like if you're going to go young and you're going to pick this direction, we got to see what we have. We got to develop them. We got to let them play through their lumps because they are young. They're not vets.
Because that's part of the problem with trading them. Like nobody wanted them because nobody was playing.
Right.
And so they're not assets. The other thing is that I had a hard time during the course of the year understanding he wouldn't play Bam and Khalil, but he couldn't wait to play Norm and Tyler. Right? Like, and I didn't need to be an expert in basketball to know that wasn't going to work on the defensive end at all. But he kept trying to get that to work.
Yeah, I think there was hope that, it's two vets, right? There are two vets. Tyler's an established starter, so he's a start. He wants to start. Yeah. Norman Powell was an all-star this year, probably should have been an all-star even last season.
Right.
He wants to start. So you try to make it work, right? Yeah. Were there concerns before the season that wasn't going to work? Of course. Defensively, there were big question marks, and that proved to be true. And then you saw him completely abandon it, right? The final month of the season, they didn't even play much together. Yeah, which they weren't happy about. So, yeah, I get your point, Leroy, that he was hesitant to play Bam and Khalil together, but wasn't that hesitant to play Tyler and Norm together. I think that's more of like that's the way Spo kind of handles young players, right? He's going to make them earn their playing time. And as we know, like Spo likes Bam playing next to smaller guys. He just does. Like you look at their best, and to Spo's credit, like you look at their best years with Bam, it's playing next to Jay Crowder. It's playing next to PJ Tucker, right? So yes, they do need to get bigger, but there is something to be said of like, maybe Bam is better as the lone big man on the floor, right? It just gives him more room to operate. Defensively, it's better. But it's about finding that right power forward like a PJ Tucker, like a Jay Crowder, who can space the floor, but also guard up and play bigger than their size at the 4 spot. That's the challenge.
What was your sense being around this team every day, Anthony? I felt like it was a locker room that liked each other personally, so I don't think that there was a lot of animosity. But I felt listening to everybody in their exit interviews that basketball-wise, role-wise, people were pretty miserable. Like it didn't feel like many people on this team, maybe outside of Pelle Larsson, were just thrilled with how the season, or Jaime were thrilled with that. Yeah, thrilled with how the season went. They didn't like the offense. They didn't like the fit. Did you get that sense that this was an unhappy basketball-wise team of just the rules they had to have in this new offense?
I don't know if I'd use the word miserable or unhappy. I would say there was some comfortableness, if that's a word, because of this in the new offense, right? Like it was totally different than what they're used to, and then what most people are used to. I mean, it was the fastest offense in the league, right? They go from playing one of the slowest offenses in the league last year to this, with a lot of these guys returning, and it's just a new way of doing things, a new style. It affects the defense. Bam was saying he didn't enjoy having to put up, his first 3 shots in the game from 3, right? Which he likes to get into a rhythm inside the 3-point line. So I think the guys were just uncomfortable because it was so different. And maybe that led to some like unhappiness. But I thought for the most part, like, guys enjoyed the offense. They enjoyed the fact they were scoring a lot of points, that the offense was better. But it was still kind of like not what they're used to. Maybe roles they weren't necessarily had ever been used in before. I think it really benefited Jaime, right? Obviously, that really benefited him. Pelle Larsson just fits in any offense. It feels like he's just a guy that kind of fits. So I wouldn't say miserable, but I would say that, guys were a little bit uncomfortable this year because of the way this kind of non-traditional scheme that they're running offensively.
Can you win that way? Because like when you get into the playoffs, or you have to play a team like Orlando, who's going to walk the ball down and kind of bang with you, or, we've seen a couple of these series that have been just like rock fights. Can you come into a playoff when the game slows down with that style of offense and have some success when, for the most part, when the game slows down, they kind of struggled?
Yeah, it's a good question. We really never saw it because they didn't make the playoffs, right?
Right.
But I will say, like, I think the hope was they had a top 5 defense for most of the season, right? If they have a top 5 defense, theoretically, you should be able to win those type of games.
Right.
If your defense is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe your offense isn't going to score 130 in those games, but if your defense is good and you can lean on your defense, you should be able to win those type of games. Now the defense completely collapsed the final month of the season, where it was one of the worst in the NBA. And when that happened, they weren't winning those type of games, right? They needed to score 130, 140 to win games at that point. But when they had a top 5 defense, I think that's what Spo was envisioning before the season, of like, if we can get just an average offensive rating, right? You're playing faster, but we have a top 5 defense, then all of a sudden maybe we have something, right? But that top 5 defense, once they got to 9 games over 500, which was their season best in mid-March, they lost 10 of their final 15 games. The defense was awful, and things just went south from there.
Do you have an answer for that? Do you have an idea of what like happened to go from one extreme to the other? Like, I can understand if it happens offensively, because you could always say they're just not making shots, or they're not getting good looks, or something like that. But on the other side of the ball, to go from top 5 to like the worst, is unheard of.
It's hard to explain, and even Spo's like, I've never been a part of something like this. Like, I don't even know. We've tried everything and nothing is working. If I had to try to explain it, I would say, they face much better competition down the final month of the season. They had a really tough schedule, playing some of the best offenses, so that's going to hurt, your defensive metrics. And 2, teams were just making a lot of 3-point shots against. If you look at the 3-point shooting percentage against up until March, they had one of the lowest in the league. Like, teams weren't shooting that good from 3 against them. And then that final month of the season, it seemed like the progression to the mean happened, and like teams are shooting 40% on threes like every game against them, and that's obviously going to make a huge difference. So I would say they're playing better teams, and teams just started making threes against them when they really weren't making threes against them for most of the season, which, if you talk to most people around the NBA, like, 3-point defense is kind of luck. It's kind of fluky, where there's only so much you can control with that, right? You can control how many attempts you give up, but that's usually going to even out throughout the course of the season, and it just evened out for the Heat at a really, really bad time for them after, mid-March.
So what is your sense with the guys who are up for contracts? Like Norm, free agent, Tyler Herro, obviously the extension. I wouldn't think that's very likely based on the year that he just had. What is your sense on the Heat's appetite to pay either one of those guys long-term?
I don't know if they have any appetite to pay anybody long-term, unless it's a star at this point, right? I mean, that's the impression Pat left. Maybe if you can sign Jaime to an affordable extension, but even that, like, they might just wait on that, right? Until they could figure out who that next star is going to be for this roster. I don't think they want to tie up any 2027 cap space, for anybody in the roster right now. because they're looking forward to having that flexibility to hopefully make that big upgrade to the team. So yeah, I mean, Pat didn't rule it out, right? But he definitely made it seem unlikely that they're going to invest any long-term money in any of these guys. Now, could Powell be back on a 1-year, lucrative contract just to kind of as a bridge season? Sure, I guess I wouldn't rule that out. But to think that they're going to sign any of these players to a 4-year extension, I would be surprised.
There's no shot, though, that they're bringing them both back, him and Herro, right? Like, you would feel like just because of their comfortability, we're going to do this again. Like, there's no shot they could bring them both back.
I wouldn't think so, right? And yeah, I don't think so. I think it's probably one or the other, just because you want to maximize this roster, right? And it just seemed like, I know Eric Spoelstra said it during exit interview day, like, we didn't have enough time. Maybe if we had more time with them playing together, maybe we could have figured it out. It just seemed like every time they got on the court, like, together, things just weren't as good, right? Like, you look at their record when they played together, you look at the offense when they played together, you look at their individual stats when they played together, nothing was as good as when they were just, one of them was on the floor, one of them was available. So I would imagine, just to maximize this team, you'd probably only bring one of them back. But maybe they think that they can figure it out. Maybe they think if they're both fully healthy. I mean, they're two very talented scorers, two very talented players. Maybe they think they can, figure it out where it could help them offensively. But based on what we saw this season, it's hard to see.
Anthony, I've had this conversation with Tobin, and you kind of pointed it out earlier about feelings, right? And I would always say, why don't they bring Norm or Tyler off the bench? And he's like, no, Spo don't want to do that because he don't want to hurt feelings. But I was always under the impression, like, I understand Norm's situation. Norm's trying to get one more contract. But in Tyler's situation, we paid you to be a Miami Heat player. We will determine what that is. And it seemed like that always seemed like how the Heat did business, right? They did business according to what the team and the franchise needed to win basketball games. And they kind of got caught up in feelings in that, oh, we got to do this because this guy's feelings going to get hurt. We got to do this. And it wasn't necessarily for the betterment of the team, and it showed. And I don't know how you go about that, because I understand Norm's situation. But Tyler, hey, we gave you the money, and you're just coming back. I think it and they've always said it matters with minutes. It's not whether you start or not, but how many minutes.
Over it 100 times, Leroy. You know why? Because he's sensitive about it. He doesn't like it. He's told us he doesn't like it. He's told everybody he doesn't like it, and Norm doesn't like it either.
They both don't like it, and they're both fighting for contracts, right? I know to your point, like, they already paid Tyler Herro a pretty good amount with his current contract, but he's eligible for an extension still, and he's going to be a free agent next year, right? But
yeah.
But when Tyler did return, he did play off the bench, right? They did bring him back off the bench, and then Norm got hurt. Tyler had to start. And Tyler played really well. Got Eastern Conference Player of the Week. The team was winning, so he stayed in the starting lineup. Norm played off the bench after that. It was, so you could argue, I guess, that they tried to bring Tyler off the bench, and then with Norm's injury, they were forced to change, and things.
Super weird year. Like,
just
they were like
weird,
they were in the Spider-Verse. Like, they never could be with each other, and then when they could never be on their terms. Before we get you out of here, Anthony, I should ask you, Tyler is getting another procedure. Do we know what this is for? It's in his other foot. Is this because he told us, like, he had the bone thing, like an extra bone in his foot? So is he have it in the other foot? Like, is that what we think this is? Do we know where this came from? And I guess what the status? Do we have any details on it?
Yeah, it appears to be like he's having a stress reaction in the foot, which he's having a procedure for now early in the offseason. Pat said he's going to be ready in July. That's the hope, right? And I think that's the vision right now, that it's not going to keep him out a significant amount of time, where he can, most guys usually pick up their offseason training in July. Like, summer league guys go out there, they start really kind of picking up their offseason work and getting a little more serious about things. So I think he should be ready by then. But from what I've heard, it's a stress reaction in the foot. And it's the other foot than the one he had surgery on last offseason, right? So we'll see. But yeah, it's not something that's going to significantly keep him out, a long period of time. He should be fine for the second half of the offseason and definitely, for training camp and the start of the season.
You get to go on vacation now, man, or something? Like, when do you get to take time before the lottery balls?
I have to explain to my wife that I have to cover the lottery on Mother's Day. That's what I have to do next. And it's at 3:00, by the way. So it's like I was like, maybe it's like at 8. It gives me some time to enjoy the day. No, right smack dab in the middle of the day, 3:00 on Mother's Day.
They do it before like a playoff game, right?
Yeah, usually do it before, like part of the pregame coverage is
they for sure can do it on Monday though. What are they thinking? Do you know?
Mother's Day. Great time.
Best of luck. Well, best of luck, everybody. I hope the lottery balls
that.
fall in your favor.
I appreciate that. I'll let you know.
Anthony Chang, go follow his work in the Miami Herald. He's the best. We'll take a break. More to come here on the show. We're back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you, FM 104.3 WQAM. Thanks again to Anthony Chang for stopping by the program.
Always fun talking to Anthony.
Love Anthony. He's the best.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, yeah. Get your stretch on.
Hey, Leroy, can we get a report over at the Windowplex, huh? Brought to us by Roofing and Contracting. Storm season is coming. Make sure your home is ready. Get your free roof and window estimate today. Visit tornadoroofing.com.
Over by me, it's mostly cloudy now. Doesn't look like it's going to rain. Just looks really cloudy. The winds aren't moving very much. I would say they're coming slightly out of the east, but they can't be moving no more than 5-10 miles an hour. And it looks like one of those days when nothing's moving, where it might be a heater. It's not much humidity, so it won't seem, it may seem like it's hot, but when you get one of those South Florida summer days, it ain't one of those, but it is a little bit warmer. I would say, is it 80? Could be 80, 85, closer to 85 right about now.
He's a golfer, ladies and gentlemen. Was he close,
Yes,
Brittany?
sir.
My weather forecast says it's 80 degrees.
Wow.
80. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Give me 5 degrees. I said 80, 85. Yeah.
Okay, I gave it to you.
She's giving it to you. She's giving you the putt. She's giving you the putt.
All right.
The Iron Jedi says on our chat, so the left side of the line is going to be 6'9" and 6'7", the Great Wall of China. Well, it's more like the Great Wall of Miami Gardens, but I see your point.
Right. I mean, I can't. I've never played in front of a massive offensive line. I've always had usually your right tackle is massive. Your left tackle is pretty big, but everywhere that I've been, my interior guys, the right guard is usually the biggest offensive lineman, but the other two guys are usually a little bit smaller depending on what offense you run.
Mm-hmm.
I had a left guard and a center that did a lot of pulling in Minnesota. Same in Cleveland. So it just depends on what style of offense you're going to run. And my only question is how much, you have so much size. Are you going to be able to move any of those guys for your small, very fast running back? I'm just trying to, you want it all to work together.
God, I'm so excited. That is honestly though, I can't believe this, Leroy, but I'm actually like you. I'm finally excited for 4th and 1 because they were so bad. They were so bad.
Hey,
3rd and 1 and 4 and 1.
There's statements in a football game that people miss because they don't really mean much to them, and they tell so much more of a story, right, than people think. But 4th and 1 and 3rd and 1 are like attitude tone setters for what you want to do to the defensive line, or conversely the offensive line. You will never see a defense get more fired up than stuffing a 3rd and 1 or a 4th and 1. Conversely, it looks like the wind was sucked out of them because it took 4 downs to get 10 yards and you beat us up in the process. So it doesn't seem like much, but the statement that you can make on your front line over short yardage situations usually determines how well you've done during the course of a game. And so I always make a big deal about that because it's more than just that yard.
Well, even if we look to how big were all those short yardage pickups by even Carson Beck during the Canes playoffs? They weren't 60 plays.
Exactly.
And it was impossible because of Tua's health to get that because,
you couldn't, and he was just small. He was a small guy. Just imagine, think of how crazy the league and fans got, with the tush push. because it was indefensible, and it's 4th and 1, and you might as well just move the chains now.
Yeah, it was annoying.
Right.
That's what you wanted,
Annoying, but guess what? Like, how would you like to have an offense and know that I'm going to have a 90% success rate on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1? You just start playing it for first down.
Yep.
Right? That sucks the life out of a defense. Right? It sucks the life. And what it does is, from a defensive perspective, it makes you take more chances on 1st and 2nd down. Like, you can't just let Saquon get 4 or 5 yards on 1st down, because now you're already thinking about, oh boy, we can take a shot on 2nd down, 3rd down, we can run it again with Saquon, and then we got the tush push. Try dealing with that all the way down the field. It said that, like, man, so you and me both, I'm interested to see the mentality that these massive men go into a game with, because I would tell you what, the one thing that I would have loved to see on this team that I know beforehand is Maui Noah's intent on a football field, right? Like, you heard what he said when he got drafted by the Giants.
I'll die for you.
Right. And so when you hear an offensive lineman say that, and you know the attitude and the way in which he's going to go play, I hope that this offensive line has guys like that, and that you'll see it early. You'll see it quick. It's not something that, oh, we got to build up to physicality.
I do like that Patrick Paul has the Power Rangers face mask. I would like Proctor to also have a very cool face mask.
Well, he ain't gonna have nothing that block his mouth in case he need a snack.
I knew he was doing it. I literally shook my head.
Wait, Brittany, I almost didn't pull the trigger on it, because soon as he said that, Brittany starts shaking her head.
I knew what was coming.
Other headlines brought to you by Doral Kia. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit them at Doral Kia or DoralKia.com. Marlins, Dodgers today, 3:10 in 3 hours. You got your first pitch from Dodger Stadium.
Who we got pitching? Sandman and
Sandy and Glasnow is going for the Dodgers on his side. So Marlins will try and take this series. It would be funny if they had a trip to the West Coast and the series they take is the Dodgers and not the Giants.
So question, is Ohtani their number one?
I would say
I don't think so.
Yamamoto's their number one.
Okay, so the guy they had pitching is like their third guy.
Yeah, but their third guy could be an ace somewhere else.
No, I know.
Last night was the Rays ace, like when Bendix was there.
Right.
You know, they have everything.
They have everything.
They have everything.
They do. I got to tell you, it was really impressive to see this team win a 2-1 game against those guys.
Brady Tkachuk is doing his exit interview, and he said, "I have been fully committed to this team, this city, and it's becoming a distraction and frustrating to deal with on the speculation of his future."
Uh-oh.
Ready to leave.
Hey, Tobin, go ahead, do your thing. Do your thing. And you know the Tkachuks don't hold back.
No.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, though, because I saw there are Panthers mock trades for Brady Tkachuk that are out there. And this is my problem with trading the Panthers. I love these guys, right? Like, you guys know I don't want to lose Bob, but like on the mock trades, here's what they're throwing out there. I'll see what you think about this.
Okay.
This was a mock trade that was thrown out there. I'm not good at the hockey trade machine, so I'm going off. I think this was Bleacher Report.
Okay.
The first round pick this year. Okay, so probably number 8. Sam Reinhart and Anton Lundell. Brady Tkachuk. And I got to tell you,
I think I'd rather have Lundell and Reinhart.
I know. I don't.
But, you know what's better than one Tkachuk? 2 Tkachuks.
I don't know if I could trade Baby Barkey.
I don't like. I think
he's 23.
I think what this team has done that is the most impressive when you look at their roster. They have a lot of young guys signed for a long period of time. And they're really good. I don't know if I'm willing, and here's what I would say. And I said this during the season. Things aren't going well, right? I don't want them to make drastic changes when we all know the only reason why they're in this position is because of injuries. Why do you feel you have to do anything?
They don't need anything other than to answer, is Bob coming back?
Or health.
Like, they need to, like, goalie's going to be a big problem. If Bob doesn't come back, they're going to need a solution there because you're going to need then Tarasov to step the hell up. And I don't know if he's ready for that. I'm not saying, I don't think he is. So,
but are you saying that you don't think he is because you love Bob, or you really?
I just think it's a big ask. The kid's he was a backup goalie last year, and you're saying, hey, we're when Barkey comes back next year, the expectation is Stanley Cup.
Yes,
and he hasn't been the guy for a team on that run.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a big ask. It's a big ask. That's all I'm saying. Texter 561 says we'll give him a first and swaggy.
Carter Verhage.
Look, I know I one time threatened to send him to the Yotes. I don't know. Like, I don't like this game.
See, you can't. It's hard doing this with you. You know why? Want me to tell you why it's hard to do this with you? Because you send people to the Yotes.
Yeah, but I don't want even a person I sent to the Yotes. I don't want to trade Verhage. I love Verhage.
You wanted to send. All right.
Because now it comes down to, like, do you have to sit Barkov and Kachuk down and be like Brady or Anton Lundell? And it's like, yeah, Brady's overall the better player. He's the captain of the Senators. But Anton Lundell's, he's your guy. Like, he does everything for that. He's going to connect those other lines. I mean, the Finnish Express, with him and at 2 and Brad Marchand getting back healthy. Like, that's what I envision for next year.
Right.
I don't know. Text. He says maybe Mackie Semiskevich. Yeah, but that's like me wanting to trade like the third bench guy for Giannis, dude. Like, I don't think that's going to work. I don't think they're going to give us Brady Kachuk for that. Like, when the Panthers got the first Kachuk, they had to trade Huberdeau.
Right.
This is tough. But he does seem to be making a stink. Oh, man. I don't know. Going to be interesting. We'll take a break here on the program. More to come. We're back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Hey, Whiskey, Stars, and Cigars, presented by Edmore Sawgrass Automall, returns Friday, May 8th. Talk sports unfiltered with our on-air hosts at Tabacon Cigars and Spirits at Plantation Walk. Starting at 6 p.m., enjoy a nice Scotch whiskey from Johnny Walker, a smooth cigar from Drew Estate. The event is free. You just stop on by. Get all the info now at WQAM.com. You must be 21 or older, and we'll see you at 6 p.m. May 8th at Tabacon Cigars and Spirits at Plantation Walk. Whiskey, Stars, and Cigars presented by Edmore Sawgrass Automall. 4 brands, 1 location, your local Cadillac, Buick, GMC, and Chevy dealer.
6-ish.
We will be 6-ish. I will try and be there at 6.
It's going to be hard.
Hmm?
Going to be hard. Traffic. That's traffic. That's rush hour.
Luis says, would you trade Matthew Tkachuk for Connor McDavid? No. You can't trade Matthew Tkachuk for Connor McDavid. What's wrong? Do any of you have souls or appreciation for what people do to win you championships? What's wrong with you people? I mean, what the hell is this? Would you trade him for McDavid? For what? Mr. No Rings? Mr. No Cups? No thanks. We give Sam Miskevich for him. That's what we're going with. We'll see. Maybe he comes back in this series. Radko Gudas is hurt.
Well, if they do make a trade, which I would be reluctant to, if they do make a trade, it's going to be of somebody that we didn't want to see go, right?
It's going to be hard, yeah.
Yeah. Because we weren't like, when they made the last trade, we were like, oh, no. And then they won the chip.
Guy says, by the way, when is the next Dirty Boxing event? I want more of that, especially with Tobin's commentary. I think we'll get news on that soon, but I believe it should be sometime in June. So I will leave them to reveal. I'm just a mere voice. I'm not here to break news on things, but I believe it's going to be in June. That's the word. And you will find out. I believe shortly the announcement will come, and then we can discuss it.
All right.
But thank you. I appreciate that person tuning in and watching the Dirty Boxing and whatnot. Tyler Herro is getting a procedure. We had Anthony Chang on, and he says he's getting a procedure on his foot. Greg Sylvander from 5 Reasons Sports says today that it appears Tyler Herro and the Miami Heat are headed towards a divorce. He says, asking around, I get the strong sense that Tyler Herro and the Miami Heat are headed for a divorce this summer, one way or another.
I agree. I think the frustrating thing, and I understand both sides of it. Tyler would say, I've had some freak stuff happen to me, some weird stuff, but when I play, I ball out. Pat's looking at it like, who cares if you only play 30 games? It ain't helping us, right? And that's the dilemma. Now, the problem is that Tyler's had this since the beginning of his career, where, soon as you almost depend on and count on his 20-plus points, he gets an injury and he's out for a substantial amount of time. It's happened almost every year.
Right.
And so I don't blame either side for being frustrated, but I think Tyler needs to understand that if he were Pat, he'd be frustrated with him.
For sure.
For whatever reason.
Well, I'm sure he's got to be frustrated. Look, you're going to be frustrated too, because no one's going to give – no one – even if Tyler Herro gets traded to wherever.
Nobody's going to sign him to the contract he wants.
No way. He's going to need to be able to prove that he can stay on the court. He has to.
Right.
And I think Anthony's right. I think the way I read it is because Pat basically put it out there about the flexibility they want. They're not going long-term on anybody. I think for Norman Powell, if he sticks around, he'll probably get not even. I bet you they give him a fat 1-year deal, like something like $30 million for the season And, obviously Tyler would be traded by then, I'd imagine, in some piece for somebody, even if they go and revisit the Durant thing. If Durant really is miserable and they kick the tires on doing a Durant year just for fun.
Everywhere. We just
he really is miserable everywhere.
Just go, here's the thing. I can deal with a player being miserable if he puts up numbers. He gonna always put up numbers. He ain't gonna never not play basketball.
He's just
I don't care about his emotions. I'm not hiring you as a personality. I'm hiring you as a basketball player, and that portion of it he handles excellently.
The one thing is, if he comes here, if they do a Durant bridge year, because I think if you're the Heat, you think to yourself, someone will always want to trade for Kevin Durant, And so, you kick the tires on it. You do Durant. You don't have to give the house up, obviously, like you would for Giannis. Because I don't know. I'm with you. I think that the Giannis thing, they'll kick the tires on it, but I think they're back at the spot where the most they were going to give to the Bucks is what they would have given at the deadline. I don't think the Miami Heat.
It's not getting better. It's getting worse.
I don't think the deal's getting better. I don't think the deal's getting better for Giannis. I just don't. I gotta feel like if Giannis forces the issue and is like, that's the place I want to go. And look, I'll sit here and for everybody, because I got this with the Jokic thing yesterday. Well, why would Joker want to come here? I don't know. I'm just telling you from my perspective what I think the organization is gunning for. I don't know that Joker wants to come here. I'm just telling you what they did with Jovic in the presser. I thought was weird. It was super positive for no reason, and I just think that's what they're lining up for. Do I think the Heat are in a very attractive destination other than this being an amazing place to live? No, of course not. They were the 10th team in the East. They were the worst team amongst the teams trying. I get everybody's skepticism. Don't get me wrong. They have earned that. The organization has put themselves in a place. This is probably as least attractive it's been. But here's the thing. That's what it was when they traded for Jimmy, too. They were middling. All they had was the D-Wade retirement tour. They weren't in the playoffs. And Jimmy came here with Bam, who had not started yet. His starting point guard that year was Kendrick Nunn. Duncan Robinson wasn't Duncan Robinson yet, and Myers Leonard. The point is always usually just get the guy. I don't know how they're going to get the guy. Right. I know they're not in the most attractive places, whether it's going to New York or something like that. But I don't think anybody's going to. The other thing is, you look at those places, and I think if you were, you'd be like, fresh start, great place, I'm the man. I don't think it's unattractive from those perspectives either. So, but I just don't see Miami in this spot with Giannis that they're going to go all in. I think what they want to do is, I think they'll shake it up with one of the guards is going to leave, and then either try and get Giannis for a more reasonable deal. They probably still have to give up Kel'el Ware, which I would hope they wouldn't have to, but I'll be real about it. I'm trying to be reasonable about this. If they don't, then yeah, I could see them going back to the Durant well or seeing where Spider's heart's at, and those will be the things that they tick off. If they can't, then I guess the hope is you bring Norm back, you bring Wiggins back, you let the young guys play a little bit more. Maybe Kasper Giacochonis is your starting point guard instead, and you're super young, and then you'll see where the chips fall in the middle of the season. But I don't think they're going to do I'm seeing these trades out there, like ESPN's like two unprotected picks and Kel'el Ware and Tyler Herro for Kawhi. And I'm like, are you high as a kite or high as a kite? Two unprotected picks for Kawhi Leonard when they already owe a pick to the Charlotte Hornets? What are we talking about, dude? For a guy you don't for Kawhi Leonard, the most maybe one of the most talented players in the league, but one of the biggest gambles in the league too? No way, dude. I just can't see them doing that.
Agreed.
I can't see them doing
I just think that sometimes as fans, we get into the mode of we want something. We want change. We want this. We want that. And I think that you still have to be smart about it, and you can't make change for the sake of change, because all change doesn't make you better. And I think that is the difficult part of what's happening, because you can say Tyler is probably not going to be here, and I can understand why they would move on from Tyler. I fully understand that. However, you're still losing 20 points a game. And the guys that you have that you would pair with Norm as a starter aren't proven to be those type of scorers. So, like, what are you going to do, or who's going to be the other guy? Who's going to be a scorer? Who's going to be the people you can depend on to get points? And that probably plays into that, because the other two guys are true point guards. So do you take Norm, you move him to the 2? Maybe he doesn't have as much pressure with the ball in his hands and he can stay healthier longer. I don't know.
I think that they got to have next year, because of how he played. I think you got to give Kasparas Giacochonis run this year if he's going to be back with the team. Like, so he's either got to run the second unit, or he's going to be your starter at a camp, because that kid shot the lights out. I have no idea if he can get downhill or run the offense yet, because he was mostly off ball this year. And that was the thing that was strange. Like, and props to him, by the way, for in the chances he got to be with the Miami Heat. He did it in a role that's not his role. Like, he did that, like, always ball in his hands, being able to create for guys, and he shot the lights out when he got the opportunity. Not his thing. So yeah, I would like to see that. And I think with Norm, it would be an interesting pairing. And they say, like, you know, Giacochonis is a very, very competitive defender. There were times I saw that he got bullied, but he's a child. He's 19. Does he turn 20 yet?
Who, Giacochonis?
Yeah, I don't think he has. I think he turns 20 next month.
Right.
He's a baby. So we'll see. We'll see with that. But I don't know. Them handed towards a divorce. Yeah, it feels that way. Like, I think that it was inevitable it was going to get this way if they didn't have a successful year from a team standpoint, that they were going to probably, especially if Tyler was banged up like he was this year. Like, how many more times can you go to that well? I know he's undefeated against the trade rumors. He's Floyd Mayweather when it comes to the summer, but this may be the one. This may be the one that gets him. We'll take a break. We'll play a little Rats Off a Ship next. All right. Welcome back, everybody. It is time to get to our favorite Wednesday game. Rats off a ship. Rats.
Off a ship. We were like, there's no Heat. There's no Panthers. We are like, now we're singing show tunes.
-1.
Oh, man. Jennifer is not feeling well today, so we hand the honor of the Rats, all right, off to
What does that
Brittany
even mean?
Rodriguez. It's calling the bullpen.
Oh, okay.
You know?
I was like,
Yeah.
what's going on? I couldn't see him to respectfully is the thing.
Understood. What do we have today, Brittany, for Rats off a ship?
All righty. So first things first, how are we feeling about the Marlins potentially winning the series today against the Dodgers?
They don't win a lot of series, these Marlins, but they did win the tough one last night. But I'm not Rats off a ship. Look, if you have Sandy Alcantara on the hill,
you got a chance.
Win that game. You can win that game. And though he has not been as dominant as he was to start the season because Clayton McCullough decided to take his aura away for whatever reason, you always have a chance when you got Sandman on the hill. There's no doubt about that. So I'm not Rats off a ship. I think the Marlins can win this series today. Leroy?
I'm not Rats off a ship, but I'm starting to see a trend here. We watch these Marlins games and we hope Clayton McCullough doesn't do the thing. And I hate watching games like that because I just want to watch my players play. So
Jennifer goes, what the hell was that?
No, because it looked very questionable on the stream, and I also only saw half of you. So
I thought you were referring to the Mario song.
Oh, I thought she was referring to Leroy's gestures.
The Mario song.
Rats.
So no, I'm not Rats off a ship, but do you find yourself going into the 6th inning and the 7th inning wondering if Clayton McCullough is going to yank the pitcher out?
Well, I was thinking about gambling on the game today because I haven't gambled since the great crime of McCullough since of last week. But I'm scared. I'm scared because I'm like, if I don't know what Sandy's over-unders are, but I feel like whatever they are, it's not in my hands. It's in Clayton McCullough's and Bendix's AI spreadsheet. You know? So, but I'm not Rats off a ship. I think they can win.
No, I'm not Rats off a ship. Sandy gives you a chance to win.
Brittany?
I am not Rats off a ship. I think it's time, and it's I think it would be a good statement win.
It
And
would
like
be
you
a
said,
statement win.
and like you said with the Sandman, you never know.
You never know, dude. You never know. What's number 2, Brittany?
All right, there are rumors circulating that Mike Tomlin could be replacing Mike Vrabel if he resigns.
Whoa!
Wow. Mike Tomlin is going to... I got to be Rats off a ship. That's too ridiculous. If he resigns, it's going to be McDaniels, right? Like, it's going to be Josh McDaniels to be
You think?
I would think so. Mike Tomlin is
You think they're going to keep it in-house?
You think Mike Tomlin is going to pull a Doc Rivers, come off he's like, well, here's my peacock blazer. Sorry, see you guys later. I'm going to go be the coach of the Patriots. I'm not Rats off a ship on the idea that Mike Vrabel does end up resigning because I don't know if you guys saw yesterday, he got harassed at the airport where some I don't think it was TMZ, but it was some guy who people thought was TMZ was just asking him left and right questions. And I can't even imagine what it's going to be like on the sidelines for him. I still think resigning is in play. However, I am Rats off a ship on Mike Tomlin replacing him. I don't think that's going to happen.
Rats off a ship.
Oh, man.
You like it.
Yeah. I think Mike Tomlin and what he does with his personality for a football team is amazing. He makes you tougher. He calls it like he sees it. And I think that he'll get a job real quick. However, I will say this. I'm Rats off a ship for this reason. I think Mike Tomlin wants to do a little weekend work for a year or two. You know what I mean?
Back, do a little TV.
All right, be home during the week with the family. Like, I think that when you get that opportunity and you can make good money doing it, it's not a bad gig.
Yeah, it's not. No, I'm sure they're paying him oodles. Like what, you know?
How long did he coach? 20 years? 19 years?
Yeah, dude, 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years.
So he can take some time off, spend some time with the family, and then we'll see like midway through the season if family is too much. Because when you're not used to it, he's had a family, and I don't know how much he's used to being around them that much.
Right.
And he might be saying, "Oh, I got to do something."
Coaches seem to hate their families.
Nah, what? Wow.
Brittany?
I'm actually not rats off a ship on this.
Wow.
No, I think a Vrabel resignation is in our near future
Okay.
already. And who's to say that this wasn't Robert Kraft's plan all along?
Very interesting.
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
My rats are staying on the ship.
Jennifer says these are hornball repercussions.
They sure are. Maybe Robert Kraft tipped off TMZ. Who's to say?
Well, if there's one person who can't call anybody on hornball repercussions, it's Robert Kraft.
This is true.
Hasn't been back to Jupiter lately, has he? What's number 3, Brittany?
All right, number 3 is, are the Broncos officially cooked after Bo Nix needs yet another ankle surgery?
Really? Jeez.
I'm not rats off a ship on the Broncos being cooked because
rats off a ship. I pressed the wrong button.
ankle surgeries are not to be played with, and I guess we got a few months till training camp, but you need another procedure.
Let me explain something to you, and I'm gonna just break it down for you. Dude been in the league for 12 seconds.
Yeah.
And you've already had all these surgeries. Yikes.
Let's not all forget he's sneaky old.
Yes.
I'll tell you one thing, though. Let me tell you something right now. Okay? If I could see the camera. You got Mahomes off an ACL.
Mm-hmm.
Bo Nix on a glass ankle. And the Raiders. Let me tell you something right now, Justin Herbert. 0 playoff wins. Don't lose.
It's setting up nice for you.
Do not lose this division because you got old jokey jokester over there, Mr. Guru. Oh, and you got Alec Ingold. How could you? But I'm telling you right now, Patrick Mahomes on knee recovery, Bo Nix on a glass ankle, and Fernando Mendoza. Justin Herbert, you had Tua as a safety blanket for years. Because all you had was, well, at least I was a better draft pick than Tua. Well, not no more. He's a Falcon. So I'm telling you right now here, Justin Herbert, I don't care how many Madison beers you have around you. I don't know how many beers you have drinking. Do not lose the AFC West because it is ripe for the picking. And if you don't win it this year, you are a top bum for your life. Anyway.
So are you wishing let me ask you a question. Are you petty watching Justin Herbert because if Tua doesn't have any success, you don't want him to either?
I honestly really don't have any dog in the race anymore. I don't wish them any success because but I see. Here's the thing: I like Jim Harbaugh, but I don't want McDaniel to really work out. Like I don't wish him any success. He's already doing his old fired up pulse bits, so
right.
But I honestly don't care. But truly, like this guy has been told, we've all been told he's the best quarterback. He's God's gift to quarterbacking, 0 playoff wins. And now he has a division with 2 broken quarterbacks and a rookie.
Right.
Well, at least Josh Allen wins the division every year. When are you going to do something? Anyway, what was the question? Are they cooked?
Are they cooked?
I'm not rats off a ship on them being cooked. That's not great. I mean, if your ankle is still not better, that's not great. So I'm not rats off a ship on them being cooked. They could be cooked.
I would say they could be cooked also because he plays quarterback. And if he's your starting quarterback, the chances of you having a backup that could play that position, he would probably already be playing it. So they didn't draft a quarterback, did they? No. So the only guy you depend on is who's the backup. Do they still have Jameis, or do they still have don't they have
the Broncos backup? Who is their backup? I don't know.
No. All right. Who's the Broncos backup? Who came in
Jarrett
last
Stidham? Is it still Jarrett
It
Stidham?
is still Jarrett Stidham.
Jarrett Stidham. Oh, remember that
Have to
lie
imagine though if Bo Nix isn't
remember
coming
that
back.
lie
probably
that old boy told that we're gonna rally behind Stidham? No, you're
Yeah.
not. No, you're not.
No. So who will be their quarterback? Because you're right, Brittany. If he is cooked, they can't go with Jarrett Stidham all you see.
Now I will say this:
Quinn Ewers,
the coach,
Ewers for a second.
The coach that I know can handle it is coaching the Broncos.
Think he calls up Teddy Bridgewater?
No.
Why not?
I mean, he could. He really could. Somebody he's familiar with.
Is Teddy Bridgewater just doing the thing where he's going to chill till the middle of the season again?
We call that the Joe Flacco.
Yeah, dude.
He is with the Detroit Lions right now.
Maybe he calls Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is pissed he's not a starter.
I mean, Joe Flacco, you can only be a starter after Thanksgiving.
Where are your rats, Brittany?
My rats are staying on the ship because we already saw what the Broncos look like without Bo Nix, and it wasn't pretty. So
Gonzalez says they should call Russell Wilson. Hey, remember me, guys? Let's ride.
More like he's calling them.
Did I get fooled by the internet? Is he on the Savannah Bananas? Did he do a Savannah Bananas thing? Russell Wilson?
Oh, I didn't see that. I'm not privy
I'll
to that.
double check that. What do we have for number 3?
Wait, how can he do it?
Well, he played baseball. He was drafted.
This is true.
No, I know, but still.
I don't think he has a job right now, dude. Who is he? A Giant? Was he still on the Giants? He's a Giant. What's number 3, Brittany?
All right. Number 3 is the NBA disrespecting mothers all over the country with putting the draft lottery day on Mother's Day.
I'm rats off a ship. First of all, you've ruined Anthony Chang's Mother's Day. He's already cooked. All right. Mrs. Chang now has an issue because she's going to have to watch him watch lottery balls, and he should be at brunch. And so I'm already upset. But now I also have to think about me, and Mrs. Tobin's going to be looking at me, and my mother's going to be looking at me. What are you looking at your phone for? And I'm going to be like, ping pong balls. That's not great.
I have figured it out. So we do what we do in the morning. Come and have a nice little brunch.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Hang out in the pool with the kids and the grandkids or whatever. And then watch. You can do your thing while everybody's having a good time on Mother's Day.
Maybe. I mean, maybe I don't want to watch the draft lottery. Maybe we end up staying where we are at 13. Who are we sending to the lottery? You think we send Zoe? Who do you think we're sending? Sending Zoe? Sending Bam?
I probably think it's Zoe. But where is the draft lottery?
I think it's in Chicago this year. Usually I think it's in New Jersey, but I think it's in Chicago this year. I feel like it's in Chicago this year. But
They move the NBA draft now?
No, I think the draft is always in New York, but what they did, I think they moved the draft lottery to the location of the combine.
Okay.
So the combine's always in Chicago. I think that's where the draft lottery is this year, but I'll double check.
Now, what's amazing about the way they do it is they do it like couple of months before the draft.
Yes.
Which is like crazy, right? Like
Yes.
you ain't got time to figure out, we got the second pick. Let's go.
We really deserve the number 1 pick. I mean, we really did.
Never had it.
Never had it. League screwed us.
Yep.
But having it on Mother's Day, that's just uncouth, Adam Silver, but not surprising. Rats off a ship. What about you?
Rats off a ship.
I'm rats off a ship. Like, well, I don't know. Sometimes people need to plan a little bit better.
Put it on a Monday.
Like who? Right.
That's great Monday fodder.
And you're not the NFL.
Right.
So people could just say, I'll just see it when I see it.
But even the NFL wouldn't be dumb enough to put the NFL draft on Mother's Day. Like, they'd be like, Mother's Day? That's stupid. We should put it on any other day.
Yep.
Brittany, your rats?
I mean, I'm rats off a ship because it is poor planning, but I'm not rats off a ship in the sense that I think people should stop being so dramatic. It is so easy in today's society to... No, seriously, it's so easy in today's society to be out and about and still be able to understand what is going on. You can pull up a stream. It's okay. You're going to be just fine. I do it all the time. as somebody who has a lot of friends that don't care about sports, there's times where we're out and about and I have to be watching something on my phone.
Well, I did it
Everybody
for the
stops
draft.
Exactly.
I did it for the draft because it was my
Was your
anniversary.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm right off a ship because, like I said, I feel bad for the mothers, poor planning on the NBA's part, but people who are like genuinely conflicted about what they should be doing, I think that's more
But
concerning.
here's the thing for our boy Anthony. It's either going to be a really boring night because he'll know right away. Because here's the thing. If the Heat aren't in their slot at 13, so that's going to be the second envelope. Well, then all of a sudden he just has one of the busiest days of the year because now you're going into the top
Well,
four.
that's true. And in that case, then I do feel bad for the reporters out there, of course. But as like spectators, as just fans, like let's calm down a little bit.
My wife's going to be like, why are you so happy on Mother's Day? Like, wow.
Wouldn't that be something? What you think other organizations would say? The fix was in if the Heat ended up with the number 1 pick.
I don't know. Hard to say. Maybe
say.
they can make up some new rules. All right. That's all the time we have today for Rats Off a Ship. We'll take a break. More to come here on the show. We're back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. Give you a little weather here from our friends over at Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Replacing roof repairs, maintenance, and hurricane impact windows and doors. Visit tornadoroofing.com. Currently in Miami, 82 degrees, cloudy, partly cloudy conditions until 3. Wind gusts up to 7 miles per hour. Sun's going to come out late, like around 4 o'clock, and then should be a beautiful day until that sunset. And then looks like we got a good week ahead up until Sunday. So that is your weather, ladies and gents. Our headlines are brought to you by Doral Kia. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit us at Doral Kia or DoralKia.com. The Marlins will be back on the field this afternoon. They are taking on the LA Dodgers today. Marlins 2-1 dogs today, Leroy, with Sandman on the hill, just flat out right now. Just to take a little looky-loo at that. As far as homers are concerned, you got Kyle Stowers is plus 425. You got Otto Lopez plus 600, kind of tasty. Jacob Marcy is plus 850. He's already got one in this series. Liam Hicks back in the order today. Let me see. We got Liam Hicks back in there, dude. I wouldn't mind betting Liam Hicks. Liam Hicks has been tearing the cover off the ball. Close out April with 7 home runs. Let's see. What do we got? Oh, hold on. Hold. He's catching today. I don't know. Am I getting greedy? He's homered on this trip. I mean, look. Let's see. Let's just look. Let's put in Liam Hicks home run. All right. With a Marlins win. That's plus 1,800. I mean, him just a homer is plus 900. Kind of a tasty thing to bet on its own. He's their number 1 home run hitter.
Okay.
You don't think that's a good bet?
Home runs are like, I don't know. It's a crapshoot.
Interesting. What if I know? But dude, this is what you gotta bet. We gotta have a little fun, you know. Every time I want to do these Marlins bets, like I had to, rein you in to do the last one. You're like, I don't know about betting on a stolen base.
Yeah, I know. He had one.
So what do you think? You want to just do Sandy bets?
Sandy was the strikeout 7.
His over under today is 4.5 strikeouts.
Really?
Yeah.
You know why? They're taking in account the skipper taking them out.
I was going to say that because they're taking on the Dodgers, but yeah, that too. You always got to be wary of that. You could also special bet his. You could go 4+ strikeouts, 5+ strikeouts. Like Sandy, if Sandy were to get 5 or more strikeouts, and Liam Hicks hit a home run, so he hits his over under, and a home run, that's plus 800 too.
All right.
1800. I'm sorry, that's plus 1900. If we also wanted to get super froggy and put the Marlins at the win, so let's just say the Marlins win, Liam Hicks homers, Sandy 5 or more strikeouts. That's just a scotch under plus 3,000.
All right, I'll do a little 5 spot with you.
All right.
I got 5 on it.
I got a stupid login. God, this app. You would think you have the codes to the warheads here.
Lunas.
Jeez Louise.
That's the name of the group.
Huh?
Lunas.
You got 5 on it?
Yeah.
What the hell is my password?
Oh, remember you used to yell at me about not being able to log in?
Yeah, but this is worse than Odyssey with the logins. It's ridiculous how much they're like, oh, we can't let you in. Sorry. All right, I figured it out. Oh, thank God. I need to make this bet. Boom, boom. All right. Is betting the win too much?
I mean,
yes, you think so, Brittany?
I do.
+3. So we got you think we should just bet the homer and the strikeouts?
Yes. I think the win is too risky.
You might be right.
It's all a risk.
It is all.
I mean,
risk.
it is all a risk, but like that's very risky. That's like pushing it a little bit.
To say the Marlins are going to beat the Dodgers they're
going to win their first series in a while against the Dodgers. That's tough. It's tough.
Let's see.
It's a day game.
It is a day game.
The last day game, what happened?
Sleepy nooner. It is. It starts at 12 there.
Ooh. What about this?
Oh, boy. See what you did, Brittany?
Well, I was perusing. She might be right. Dade South says use Face ID. Let me tell you something about Face ID, dude. Can I just say something as an aside? I'm glad.
I always look at my phone, and my phone goes, I don't know who the hell you are.
Let me tell you something about Face ID. Never done it. Never gonna do it.
Why not?
You want to know why? I'll tell you. I'm glad you asked why. Do you know how many murder shows I've watched
where they put
where they just take the dead guy and then just willy-nilly into that person's phone? So let me get this straight. I'm dead. And then all of a sudden, raise my dead eyes and you get to go in my phone? No way, dude.
Can I just say this?
Tobin, I'm concerned.
If the first part of that is accurate, why would you care?
Okay.
I don't know.
Can you tell me? Let me know what you could possibly have on your phone.
Yeah. What secrets do you have?
So, like, valuable that you're worried about that after your death.
Do you see some of the things we text in our group chat?
No.
Leroy, I don't want that. I know I'm going to make the super group chat. I promise you, Brittany. But some of the things, no, I don't want that out there. And also,
but you're going to be dead.
What if I'm kidnapped? You ever think about that? What if I'm kidnapped and somebody wants to find?
They'll drop you back off soon as it's feeding time.
You know, like what if they say, no, you can't leave. You thought it was funny doing voice all the time. Who makes joke now? So yeah, guess what? No Face ID for me. You're not kidnapping me, and you're not just getting in with this ugly mug. Sorry, you're going to have to figure out my code. Good luck. That's how
I
it's
feel like
work.
this is an irrational fear that you
It's
have.
not an irrational
no,
fear.
I think
Every show you watch, somebody's face is getting opened up against their will.
It's 100% an irrational fear. And you sound a little crazy, but that's okay.
Dade South says, would you rather them use Face ID or torture you to get the password? I'd rather them torture me. You got to earn it.
No, you wouldn't. You'd fess up in a heart. Wait a minute. Soon as they took out the blade and sharpened it, you'd be like,
I'm not going to fold.
But here's the deal. You do.
Because here's the thing.
God, what movies do you watch? You do realize if you give up the information when they pull out the knife, they're going to chop you up anyway.
Nobody's ever figured out code password. Every time you watch one of these detective shows, everyone steals the Face ID. Every single one of them. And you don't get to be in my phone if I'm dead. Sorry. That's not how it works. You don't get to be in my phone if I'm dead. The only person who knows my code is my wife. That's it. Everybody else, no codes. That's it.
So now you just got 2 people killed.
Didn't think about that one. Well, listen, before I get captured,
and
I'll
you just admitted it off the air.
But that's in case I die.
You just said
they're gonna torture her.
The only person that knows my password is
they're gonna
my
once
wife.
they find out
So
that you don't use Face ID, they're gonna torture her now. Good job.
Lisa.
Way to go, Tobin.
Way to go.
What are you talking about? Now you guys are telling me, first of all, how do you guys go from you're too paranoid to now you weren't paranoid enough? It can't be both. You guys are boxed in.
I'm not. I merely said you're not paranoid. I merely said, why would you care if somebody gets in your phone if you're dead? That's it.
Who wants their secrets out there if they're dead? Not me.
You won't even know.
I don't care. I don't want it there. You don't get my secrets. All right. Anyway, can I get back to what I wanted to say? Oh man, it's going down too. We need to get on this. You know what I don't like about the Hard Rock? These rat bastards. Can I just tell you something? I'm gonna tell you guys. Listen, I know you guys are fine with the station and all that. I know you're listening. And every time I'm cooking up one of my parlays, if I wait 3 seconds, you guys change the odds. I know you're doing it. So stop doing that. Now I'm gonna get kidnapped by the Hard Rock. Stop messing with mine because I just had this parlay cooked up together, and now all of a sudden you're lowering it because you know what I'm up to. Because you want to know why? You face scanned me. Anyway, what if instead of the Marlins win, we go back to the Old Faithful? We go Liam Hicks, home run, Sandy, 5 strikeouts, Jacob Marcy, stolen base, plus 4,700.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
You in?
I'm in.
All right. That's what
I
I'm
mean,
talking.
last time I went in for a 10 spot and we were supposed to win, but
Yeah. Well, we're in for
Play-
5 each. So it's a $10 bet.
yeah.
All right. Here we go. Boom. Hard Rock. You don't think I know what you're up to. Oh, you think you're funny taking away face scan? How about we take away 1 toe at a time for each number?
With me, they take off 2 toes with 1 swipe.
You guys see that euphoria this past week with the Russian with the Clippers?
No.
Yeah. Snip, snip. That was a problem.
I'm out on it. I'm out on Euphoria.
All together?
Yeah, they took too long. I don't care anymore. Last season was awful.
Yeah.
That's why, listen, Brittany, that's why I don't think there's anybody who enjoyed Game of Thrones more than me. Because I watched it all during COVID straight. So I never had to wait a year and a half for the last, episodes or the last, series or whatever, the last season. And I'm starting to feel this way about the Seven Kings and the whatever. And what's the new Game of Thrones that you get all excited for it and then they take like a year and a half off. I'm like, I'm losing interest.
Face scan. You know how many guys would have been troubled back in Game of Thrones with the face scan? They kidnapping people left and right. Imagine if you had the secrets to the dragons in your phone.
Damn it. What? You can't have the secrets to the
I'm
dragons.
telling you.
They
This
can
face
smell
scan
your
is
blood.
absurd.
They
Dude,
can smell your blood. You're either Targaryen or you're not.
I'm telling you right now, all this retinal
You didn't see them all
scan,
trying to be dragon riders?
they want
Retinal scan.
retinal scan, and they want to put chips in our brain. And it all started with this stupid face scan on the phone. Oh, it's convenient. You don't need a password. Only you can get in. Yeah,
By
until
the
I'm
way,
handcuffed.
they wouldn't go through your brain. They go right up your nose.
Like, why does this guy just have a folder that says bits? And why is he in a dragon costume? They're gonna think I'm a furry.
That's gonna be your big. They're gonna put that out there. And be like, this is his big secret.
Yeah,
He's
they're
a
gonna
furry.
say this.
Tobin's mouth has had him in more costumes than Bernie. Right? You were a dragon. And it was 700 degrees that day.
Oh my God.
It was so hot. He terrified a kid because the parents wanted him to take a picture with a random dragon on the steps of the Kaseya Center, and he was crying. Let's not
If
forget
this
when
is
you had to go
true-
eat dinner in the we ate lunch and you had to wear your elf costume at Prime 112.
That did happen too. All in my phone, by the way, which I don't want taken by the Russians.
If this is true, if this person said this and this is true, then you have no legs to stand on. Then you're really
Wait, yes, I forgot.
We don't have to bring it up. I mean, Jesus. Do you know how many random texts I still get on holidays from people?
He gave his number out on air.
You have no legs to stand on because you know what someone can do is hack into your phone.
No.
You can do a lot of damage with a phone number.
That's a different.
That's why
number now.
famous people have to change their numbers.
Famous people change their numbers because people care about famous people. Nobody cares about Show Pony.
Wait,
But I don't want the Russians being able to get my face and being
Dude.
like,
that might be like the craziest thing.
It wasn't that
ever.
crazy. I was in the midst of a story of telling where I think I was at the pediatrician with my daughter, and they couldn't figure out where her appointment was between my number and my wife's number. And so I accidentally said on the air in the story because she kept saying I couldn't find the number, and it was an accident. But now, listen, it's nice. At least only listeners have it. I do get happy holidays from random numbers all the time. I don't text them back because I don't want to. It's like feeding the bears. I don't want to engage. You guys already get me enough. All right. How much more contact do you need with me? I respond to every DM on Instagram to you people. Twitter, sometimes you guys are rat bastards. I'm not responding to you. But if you guys DM me on Instagram, I'm pretty much responding to you. It's pretty much a guarantee, unless you were a real horse's ass. But face scan? Get the hell out of here, face scan. Who trusts that?
That's all I use. When your hands are all tied up. And plus,
I
here's the
love
other
this
thing.
too.
Here's the only thing I hate about the iPhone. You better not have nothing on your hands. You better you can't be wet if you're in a pool or something like that. It will not work. So if your phone's next to a pool and you hop out of the pool to answer it, try to swipe that wet finger.
Tell us about the PGA, Leroy.
Oh, tomorrow. Tomorrow is back. I saw some videos. Scotty Scheffler. He's practicing. There's a lot of big names are out there. You got most of the top 50. And we talked to Dave yesterday, and there's plenty of things to do there. There's public venues, delicious bites, much more. There's tents everywhere. You can get libations. They have it all ready to go. If you want to bring family, for every ticketed adult, you can bring up to 2 kids ages 15 and under. And I got to tell you, the weather is nice. So you should really enjoy watching some of the best players. There's no cut. So you can go post up on one spot. You'll see all the golfers in the tournament, which is always really cool. That's one of the things I enjoy about when I go to golf tournaments. Just get your tickets now at CadillacChampionship.com.
I just want to apologize to Brittany because I just saw her face after playing the creepy purr after Leroy's wet finger comment, and she was horrified.
It was ridiculous. I'm still sick of that sound. And don't even get me started on the horse yesterday. That makes it 10 times worse.
Man. This is not going to be very mature. There's a band coming to Hard Rock to give away their tickets right now. Bush bringing their Land of Milk and Honey tour with Mammoth and James and the Cold Gun. They're going to be at Hard Rock Live on May 12th. If you guys want to go, caller number, what do you want to do, Brittany? What caller number?
Let's do caller number 6.
Caller 6 to 305-567-0560. Caller 6 to 305-567-0560 is going to win a pair of tickets to see Bush with its Land of Milk and Honey tour with Mammoth and James and the Cold Gun, May 12th. If you can't wait to win, purchase tickets at casino.hardrock.com/Hollywood/events, and you guys will win those tickets. But right now, caller 6 to 305-567-0560 will win the tickets. What is the big hobnobbing going on at F1 this week? Like, what is there like a media day or anything like that? Like, are you going to get any kind of fun stuff this week around F1, or is it all just roped off to the commoners?
No, I will say one thing that the teams do that is really like good is that they do have a lot of like pop-up events and fan fest and fan zones. So tonight, actually, I'm going to Wynwood to see Carlos Sainz do a Q&A.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
That sounds cool.
He's one of the drivers.
Is he like good?
Yeah, he was with Ferrari, and then he signed with Williams, which is one of like it's like a mid-grid team.
Do they bring a car?
They all the fan zones usually have a car, like a replica car.
That's kind of cool.
So yeah, I'm really excited for that. And then tomorrow is media day for the drivers, and then tomorrow night, you get the select fans that are signed up like with F1 and all that stuff get sent invites to be able to go to the welcome night for the Grand Prix, and me and my friends actually got lucky enough to get picked, and we got free tickets to go to the welcome party. So what that is like I get to walk pit lane, I get to see the garages, and then usually a surprise. It's a surprise to everybody. One of the teams will bring out both drivers and do a Q&A.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm really excited about that. At least
that's
fun. Yeah, and
that's almost better than going to the race.
Brittany, how's Cadillac doing?
They're doing terrible. They're the worst team.
Right.
I mean, it's their first year though, so you have to understand.
Usually, the European engines are much better at it than in F1 than American cars.
Yeah, usually, yes. So
because
yeah,
they can trick up smaller engines. They trick up smaller engines. I mean, the US is better at NASCAR because they can just put a big old engine in there and horsepower and manly car.
What is who's the favorite to win this weekend? Do you know?
So it's actually really interesting this week because they had a month off due to the stuff that's going on in the Middle East right now. So they had to cancel 2 of their races. So they've had a month off, and the FIA came out with new regulations because they just came out with new regulations for this season. They have complete different engines. They're battery powered. So it's a little much different rules and different racing, and they revamped the regulations going into Miami. So there's a big question mark around Miami, but leading into Miami, Mercedes has been extremely, extremely dominant. And right now a 19-year-old is leading the world championship. So I think they're still the favorites, but the top 3 teams right now, the most competitive teams, have been Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren, and then you can probably toss in Red Bull because you can never really count them out completely.
Well, what kind of car does Red Bull have?
What do you mean? Like their engine?
Yeah.
It's a Honda engine.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm telling you, it's all European engines.
Isn't Honda Japanese?
Yes.
Yeah.
Foreign engines.
Foreign engines.
There you
go.
I mean, like over here, all the kids who like to trick up their engines, they get Hondas because there's more room underneath the hood.
I'll tell you one thing about Honda engines. They don't die. 300,000 miles, I'll tell you.
You're still going?
I mean, yeah.
Can we come on, dude?
It's the pride. It's the pride and principle of it, you know?
You've probably spent more money servicing that car than the actual car.
Don't think so. Maybe buying tires and things like that.
That
Aware,
counts.
but not
Servicing.
not the engine. It's a monster. Never
Alright.
goes.
Alright, I got
Never
you.
goes. Same age as my son. Guy says Verstappen is winning. Verstappen winning this weekend?
I really don't think so. I think it's going to be a Mercedes
washed?
double podium again. No, it's just that his team is struggling really with these new regulations. He doesn't really have control, like a lot of control of their car, because it's bad. It's energy based, so they have to recharge their battery on brakes on braking turns. And so then if you don't charge it correctly, then it's hard to overtake that person. And it's a very complicated system. And so Verstappen has been actually like the biggest hater against this.
Wow.
And
He likes
Red
the old
Bull,
school.
yeah, and he does. And Red Bull is not really hasn't been able to figure out the car yet or get him comfortable in the car. So I don't think that we're going to see much of Verstappen, but you can never count him out, because I said the same thing last year. And then he came back from like almost 200 points down and almost won the whole thing.
Well, somebody you also can't count out, is Anthony Chang, because he is the best. And Pat Riley had a lot of things to say at his press conference on Monday. Where are we going? Who we signing? Is Tyler Herro going to be back? Is he too banged up? Who knows? But one man who does is a guy who covers the Heat day in and day out. That's Anthony Chang. He joins us next. Let's go out to the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, and toyotaofhollywood.com. And there we will find Anthony Chang, Miami Heat reporter from the Miami Herald. What's going on, dude? Thanks for the time today.
Of course. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good.
I'm confused. I'm a little confused, to be honest with you, because all the things that Pat said have been kind of inconsistent with what they've done the last couple of years. And then some of the guys that they're talking about bringing in, also when he said the main thing is, games played, but any of the superstars that you would bring in have had issues with games played. So I'm a little confused.
Well, Nikola Jokic hasn't had issues.
No, not him.
Right?
No. Yeah. wait.
That is interesting. Hey, let's dive into that. What you think about?
Where are you going?
I'm going to tell you.
You opened the door, Leroy. I'm sorry.
As I said yesterday, very strange. Listen, you're basically Nikola Jovic's therapist, right? So
yeah.
Every single time he said something, I've just been like, what? I mean, this guy, where he is mentally this year is all over the place. But Pat Riley, when you asked him about Bam, all of a sudden goes on this Jovic story about I was like, and I just like kept it. I was like, why did he do that? That's so unlike. I remember the Hassan, Dion Waiters, Goran Dragic, Dwayne Wade, like years where you don't play and you get paid. Usually that's not the reaction we get from Pat Riley. And I was like, what the hell was that? So what the hell was that? And also, do you think that's because he's cozying up to Joker?
I think sometimes, you know this, Tobin, you've been enough of these press conferences. He either tries to build up the player if he's had a bad year, which he's done that in the past, I think, or he is very critical of them and is very brutally honest and kind of issues a challenge. For whatever reason, he continued to try to build up Jovic while mentioning it was a nightmare season for him. Like it was a really bad season for Jovic, obviously. Is that cozying up to Joker? I don't know. But I mean, I can't say no. I mean, could be, right? I mean, I do know that the Heat are, prioritizing 2027 cap space, which Pat, I think if you take away anything from that press conference, that was it, right? 2027 cap space is important to them. Unless they're able to get that star this offseason, right? Whether that's Giannis or somebody else who becomes available, they're going to try to preserve that 2027 cap space until they can land that star. Until then, everything seems to be on hold.
Yeah, so I don't know what the mechanisms are of Joker's contract. Like I know that if you stay with the team, you get $1 gazillion more. So that's why it's become so unlikely.
But you
right?
just get an extra year, right? Or is the money? The money is only that extra year that you would get by staying. It's not necessarily more each
I don't
year.
know if we know the exact numbers, but he's also got every award. So it's probably that's the whole mechanism and why we're like cap space. Like who does that work with anybody anymore? It doesn't feel like it does.
I'll say this about cap space. It's still very beneficial to have because yes, while a lot of these guys don't hit free agency outright anymore, you can still have the threat of that cap space of like, well, if we don't trade Giannis by this date and he's a free agent, the Heat has the cap space on him outright. We could lose him for nothing, right? So that threat sometimes motivates a team to do a trade because they know that the Heat don't have to give up anything. They can just wait and sign him in 2027. And same thing with Joker. Joker can become a free agent in 2027. He has a player option, just like Giannis. Just like Donovan Mitchell, right, who has a player option in 2027 as well to become a free agent. If the Heat has the cap space ready to go, that if those guys become available, they could sign them outright. Maybe that team is willing to make a trade beforehand because just of that threat. Also, it helps with flexibility to make trades, right, where you don't have to take back as much salary. You're able to make more trades if you have space. So there are benefits to having space. It's maybe not the traditional way that most people think about it, but the Heat are preserving that cap space for a reason. They want to have the flexibility. They want to have that threat of, well, if you don't want to trade it, this guy to us, then we could just sign him outright if he really wants to come here. So I would say that's really the reason you're seeing the Heat keeping that 2027 flexibility.
One of the other things during the presser that kind of caught me off guard, and I've never heard Pat kind of criticize Spo, but I got the feeling that he was criticizing Spo by not just riding out these young players and kind of taking the lumps, because now you ended up in the play-in again and you have all this young talent that you've kind of didn't play, and we're going to go through this again next year when we could have maybe been ahead of this.
Yeah, no, I think that was another interesting part of the press conference where he wasn't like overly critical of Spo, but he did say like there needs to be a conversation had of like, what are we doing here, right? If we're going to keep these guys and not trade them, and we want to keep Khalil away from a Kevin Durant deal because we believe in him and his potential, you got to play him more than 12 minutes a game, right? I mean, that just has to happen. And I know that's tough because you have Bam Adebayo on the roster, and if you don't really trust him and Bam to play together, Bam plays 30, 35 minutes a game, so that only leaves 13, 14 minutes for Khalil to play. But I guess the point is, if Khalil's in the roster next year, there has to be a way to play them together, which we saw a little bit more of in the final week of the season. It's unfortunate it took that long, right? For Spo to kind of say, well, we need to maximize Khalil's minutes. Like, this is the way we do it, because if not, Khalil doesn't play as much. I would imagine that if Khalil's back next year and he's not traded, we'll probably see much more of Bam and Khalil because, like Pat said, like if you're going to go young and you're going to pick this direction, we got to see what we have. We got to develop them. We got to let them play through their lumps because they are young. They're not vets.
Because that's part of the problem with trading them. Like nobody wanted them because nobody was playing.
Right.
And so they're not assets. The other thing is that I had a hard time during the course of the year understanding he wouldn't play Bam and Khalil, but he couldn't wait to play Norm and Tyler. Right? Like, and I didn't need to be an expert in basketball to know that wasn't going to work on the defensive end at all. But he kept trying to get that to work.
Yeah, I think there was hope that, it's two vets, right? There are two vets. Tyler's an established starter, so he's a start. He wants to start. Yeah. Norman Powell was an all-star this year, probably should have been an all-star even last season.
Right.
He wants to start. So you try to make it work, right? Yeah. Were there concerns before the season that wasn't going to work? Of course. Defensively, there were big question marks, and that proved to be true. And then you saw him completely abandon it, right? The final month of the season, they didn't even play much together. Yeah, which they weren't happy about. So, yeah, I get your point, Leroy, that he was hesitant to play Bam and Khalil together, but wasn't that hesitant to play Tyler and Norm together. I think that's more of like that's the way Spo kind of handles young players, right? He's going to make them earn their playing time. And as we know, like Spo likes Bam playing next to smaller guys. He just does. Like you look at their best, and to Spo's credit, like you look at their best years with Bam, it's playing next to Jay Crowder. It's playing next to PJ Tucker, right? So yes, they do need to get bigger, but there is something to be said of like, maybe Bam is better as the lone big man on the floor, right? It just gives him more room to operate. Defensively, it's better. But it's about finding that right power forward like a PJ Tucker, like a Jay Crowder, who can space the floor, but also guard up and play bigger than their size at the 4 spot. That's the challenge.
What was your sense being around this team every day, Anthony? I felt like it was a locker room that liked each other personally, so I don't think that there was a lot of animosity. But I felt listening to everybody in their exit interviews that basketball-wise, role-wise, people were pretty miserable. Like it didn't feel like many people on this team, maybe outside of Pella Larson, were just thrilled with how the season, or Jaime were thrilled with that. Thrilled with how the season went. They didn't like the offense. They didn't like the fit. Did you get that sense that this was an unhappy basketball-wise team of just the roles they had to have in this new offense?
I don't know if I'd use the word miserable or unhappy. I would say there was some uncomfortableness, if that's a word, because of this in the new offense, right? Like this it was totally different than what they're used to, and then what most people are used to. I mean, it was the fastest offense in the league, right? They go from playing one of the slowest offenses in the league last year to this, with a lot of these guys returning, and it's just a new way of doing things, a new style. It affects the defense. Bam was saying he didn't enjoy having to put up, his first 3 shots in the game from 3. Right, which he likes to get into a rhythm inside the 3-point line. So I think the guys were just uncomfortable because it was so different, and maybe that led to some like unhappiness. But I thought for the most part, like guys enjoyed the offense. They enjoyed the fact they were scoring a lot of points, that the offense was better, but it was still kind of like not what they're used to. Maybe roles they weren't necessarily had ever been used in before. I think it really benefited Jaime, right? Obviously, that really benefited him. Pelle Larsson just fits in any offense. It feels like he's just a guy that kind of fits. So I wouldn't say miserable, but I would say that, you know, guys were a little bit uncomfortable this year because of the way this kind of non-traditional scheme that they're running offensively.
Can you win that way? Because like when you get into the playoffs or you have to play a team like Orlando, who's going to walk the ball down and kind of bang with you, or, you know, we've seen a couple of these series that have been just like rock fights. Can you come into a playoff when the game slows down with that style of offense and have some success when, for the most part, when the game slows down, they didn't really, they kind of struggled.
Yeah, it's a good question. We really never saw it because they didn't make the playoffs, right?
Right.
But I will say, like, I think the hope was they had a top 5 defense for most of the season, right? If they have a top 5 defense, theoretically, you should be able to win those type of games.
Right.
If your defense is really good.
Mhm.
Maybe your offense isn't going to score 130 in those games, but if your defense is good and you can lean on your defense, you should be able to win those type of games. Now the defense completely collapsed
Oh
the
my
final month of the
goodness.
season,
Yeah.
where it was one of the worst in the NBA. And when that happened, they weren't winning those type of games, right? They needed to score 130, 140 to win games at that point. But when they had a top 5 defense, I think that's what Spo was envisioning before the season, of like, if we can get just an average offensive rating, right? You're playing faster, but we have a top 5 defense, then all of a sudden maybe we have something, right? But that top 5 defense, once they got to 9 games over 500, which was their season best in mid-March, they lost 10 of their final 15 games. The defense was awful, and things just went south from there.
Do you have an answer for that? Do you have an idea of what like happened to go from one extreme to the other? Like, I can understand if it happens offensively, because you could always say they're just not making shots or they're not getting good looks or something like that. But on the other side of the ball, to go from top 5 to like the worst,
Yeah,
is unheard of.
It's hard to explain, and even Spo's like, I've never been a part of something like this. Like, I don't even know. We've tried everything and nothing is working. If I had to try to explain it, I would say they face much better competition down the final month of the season. They had a really tough schedule, playing some of the best offenses, so that's going to hurt, you know, your defensive metrics. And 2, teams are just making a lot of 3-point shots against. If you look at the 3-point shooting percentage against up until March, they had one of the lowest in the league. Like, teams weren't shooting that good from 3 against them. And then that final month of the season, it seemed like the progression to the mean happened, and like teams are shooting 40% on threes like every game against them, and that's obviously going to make a huge difference. So I would say they're playing better teams, and teams just started making threes against them when they really weren't making threes against them for most of the season, which, if you talk to most people around the NBA, like 3-point defense is kind of luck. It's kind of fluky, where there's only so much you can control with that, right? I mean, you can control how many attempts you give up, but you know, that's usually going to even out throughout the course of the season, and it just evened out for the Heat at a really, really bad time for them after, you know, mid-March.
So what is your sense with the guys who are up for contracts? Like Norm, free agent, Tyler Herro, obviously the extension. I wouldn't think that's very likely based on the year that he just had. What is your sense on the Heat's appetite to pay either one of those guys long-term?
I don't know if they have any appetite to pay anybody long-term, unless it's a star at this point, right? I mean, that's the impression Pat left. Maybe if you can sign Jaime to an affordable extension, but even that, like, they might just wait on that, right? Until they could figure out who that next star is going to be for this roster. I don't think they want to tie up any 2027 cap space, you know, for anybody in the roster right now, because they're looking forward to having that flexibility to hopefully make that big upgrade to the team. So yeah, I mean, Pat didn't rule it out, right? But he definitely made it seem unlikely that they're going to invest any long-term money in any of these guys. Now, could Powell be back on a 1-year, you know, lucrative contract just to kind of as a bridge season? Sure, I guess, you know, I wouldn't rule that out. But to think that they're going to sign any of these players to a 4-year extension, I would be surprised.
There's no shot, though, that they're bringing them both back, him and Herro, right? Like, you would feel like just because of their comfortability we're going to do this again. Like, there's no shot they could bring them both back.
I wouldn't think so, right? Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's probably one or the other, just because you want to maximize this roster, right? And it just seemed like, I know Eric Spoelstra said it during exit interview day, like we didn't have enough time. Maybe if we had more time with them playing together, maybe we could have figured it out. It just seemed like every time they got on the court, like together, things just weren't as good, right? Like you look at their record when they played together, you look at the offense when they played together, you look at their individual stats when they played together. It just nothing was as good as when they were just, one of them was on the floor, one of them was available. So I would imagine just to maximize this team, you'd probably only bring one of them back. But maybe they think that they can figure it out. Maybe they think if they're both fully healthy. I mean, they're two very talented scorers, two very talented players. Maybe they think they can, figure it out where it could help them offensively. But based on what we saw this season, it's hard to see.
Anthony, I've had this conversation with Tobin, and you kind of pointed it out earlier about feelings, right? And I would always say, why don't they bring Norm or Tyler off the bench? And he's like, no, Spo don't want to do that because he don't want to hurt feelings. But I was always under the impression, like, I understand Norm's situation. Norm's trying to get one more contract. But in Tyler's situation, we paid you to be a Miami Heat player. We will determine what that is. And it seemed like that always seemed like how the Heat did business, right? They did business according to what the team and the franchise needed to win basketball games. And they kind of got caught up in feelings in that, oh, we got to do this because this guy's feelings going to get hurt. We got to do this. And it wasn't necessarily for the betterment of the team, and it showed. And I don't know how you go about that because I understand Norm's situation. But Tyler, hey, we gave you the money and you're just coming back. I think it and they've always said it matters with minutes. It's not whether you start or not, but how many minutes.
100 times, Leroy. You know why? Because he's sensitive about it. He doesn't like it. He's told us he doesn't like it. He's told everybody he doesn't like it, and Norm doesn't like it either.
They both don't like it, and they're both fighting for contracts, right? I know to your point, like they already paid Tyler Herro a pretty good amount with his current contract, but he's eligible for an extension still, and he's going to be a free agent next year, right? But but when Tyler did return, he did play off the bench, right? They did bring him back off the bench, and then Norm got hurt. Tyler had to start. And Tyler played really well. Got Eastern Conference Player of the Week. The team was winning, so he stayed in the starting lineup. Norm played off the bench after that. It was so you could argue, I guess, that they tried to bring Tyler off the bench, and then with Norm's injury, they were forced to change and things.
Super weird year. Like
just
they were like
weird,
they were in the Spider-Verse. Like they never could be with each other, and then when they were, they could never be on their terms. Before we get you out of here, Anthony, I should ask you. Tyler is getting another procedure. Do we know what this is for? It's in his other foot. Is this because he told us like he had the bone thing, like an extra bone?
Yeah.
But so is he having it in the other foot? Like, is that what we think this is? Do we know where this came from? And I guess what the status? Do we have any details on it?
Yeah, it appears to be like he's having a stress reaction in the foot, which he's having a procedure for now early in the offseason. Pat said he's going to be ready in July. That's the hope, right? And I think that's the vision right now, that it's not going to keep him out a significant amount of time where he can, most guys usually pick up their offseason training in July. Like summer league guys go out there, they start really kind of picking up their offseason work and getting a little more serious about things. So I think he should be ready by then. But from what I've heard, it's a stress reaction in the foot. And it's the other foot than the one he had surgery on last offseason, right? So we'll see. But yeah, it's not something that's going to significantly keep him out, a long period of time. He should be fine for the second half of the offseason and definitely, for training camp and the start of the season.
You get to go like on vacation now, man, or something? Like when do you get to take some time before the lottery balls?
I have to explain to my wife that I have to cover the lottery on Mother's Day. That's what I have to do next. And it's at 3:00, by the way. So it's like, I was like, maybe it's like at 8, it gives me some time to enjoy the day. No, right smack dab in the middle of the day, 3:00 on Mother's Day.
They do it before like a playoff game, right?
Yeah, usually do it before, like part of the pregame coverage is
they for sure can do it on Monday, though. What are they thinking? Do you know?
Mother's Day. Great time.
Best of luck. Well, best of luck, buddy. I hope the lottery balls fall in your favor.
I appreciate that. I'll let you know.
Anthony Chang, go follow his work in the Miami Herald. He's the best.